There's no proof. It was hilarious.
Yeah. Fortunately, there was one
Well,
other night.
I think in 2020 we had a guy come out and do as much as he could to it. It was just.
Yeah, 95% efficient furnace. I just found a brand new one. Yeah, at an auction for $500.
You could do that. Oh, no.
Ryan? Ryan, what are you doing?
That was hilarious.
What are you doing? That's it. Quickly, and it's sticking to your teeth. You ready? Yeah.
Taylor ready?
Let's hit it. All right, we're going to call this meeting to order. Welcome to the Bath Charter Township Board of Trustees meeting for Tuesday, January 20th. Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day. We're going to start with a roll call.
Mr. Funes Bliss?
Here.
Ms. Butler Challenger here. Ms. Wilson?
Here.
Ms. Kellerman?
Mostly.
Mr. Kaki?
Here.
Mr. Rosecrans?
Here.
Ms. Hagerman's absent this evening.
We're going to start, item 2 is civic reflection. Start with the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. So if you are able to rise and join us for the pledge, please do so now.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And now a moment of silence. Thank you. All right, friends, I did not hear anything about changes to the agenda today. Does anybody have any changes they wanted to propose, or Karen, anything that we needed to add or take away?
Not that I'm aware of. Thank you, Mr. Supervisor.
Doesn't sound like it, so does someone want to put forward a motion to approve the agenda as is?
I'll make that motion.
Al?
That's okay.
We have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as presented tonight. Any discussion or questions? All right, seeing none, we'll take a voice vote. All those in favor of approval of the agenda as presented, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, that motion carries. We have an agenda. For those joining in the audience, there are copies of the agenda up on the lectern if you'd like to follow along. That brings us to item 4, disclosure of conflicts of interest. Does any board member have a conflict of interest they'd like to disclose today? Seeing none, we'll move on to item 5, which is public statement 1. This is an opportunity for those in the audience to step up to the lectern, share 3 minutes of public statement on any topic that is on the agenda tonight. There will be a second opportunity at the end of the night for an additional 3 minutes to talk about any other township business that you'd like to take care of. Is there anybody who would like to make a public statement tonight? All right, seeing none, we will move on. Item 6 is items from county, state, federal, and other agencies. We have 2 items. The first is swearing in of Sergeant Marcus Siedelberg by our chief.
Thank you, Township Board, for giving us the time to do this. We're here this evening to recognize and celebrate the promotion of Officer Marcus Siedelberg to the position of Sergeant. Marcus applied to work for this department 13 years ago, and I had the privilege of serving on his hiring panel. I distinctly remember the panel's discussion. Everyone noted the strong work ethic Marcus demonstrated, even before he became a police officer. That work ethic has been constant throughout his career and has led him to serve in several critical roles within our department. Marcus has served as one of our evidence technicians, handling evidence and processing crime scenes. He is also one of our less than lethal instructors, certified in both TASER and OC chemical spray. In addition, Marcus is the county's only salvage vehicle inspector, which he certifies repaired crash vehicles for return to the roadway. The revenue from that program directly supports our efforts to combat vehicle theft through equipment purchases. Perhaps most importantly, Marcus has served as a field training officer, mentoring new officers and providing them the foundation they need to succeed throughout their careers. Marcus's strong work ethic, commitment to teamwork, and consistent positive attitude clearly set him apart. It is my honor to announce the promotion of Marcus Siedelberg to the position of sergeant.
Will she have to do that every day?
Hopefully not.
Matt,
Should I swear him in
he's
first?
gotta get sworn.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we're here for.
Sorry, I'm the one that called you.
I solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of this state, and that I will faithfully perform the duties of a police sergeant in and for the Township of Bath, County of Clinton, and State of Michigan, according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Just cropping out the feet, so you might as well handle it.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, now we're ready.
Thank you for the time. If anybody has anything they want to add, I mean, we'd be happy to hear from the board.
I appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Getting your team in place.
We're
Right.
moving in the right direction.
there.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
Yep, thanks.
Be safe.
Congrats, Marcus.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Aaron.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
There goes our crowd.
All right, next up on our agenda is the real exciting piece of tonight. Let's talk about the sewer.
Brad gets
I
that.
don't think that's the case, but I will talk about the sewer a little bit. I appreciate your time tonight, quick. I did want to provide an update, and thank you, Superintendent Hildebrand, for having me here and board. Just a quick update on our project. So the SRF project is what I would say is 98% complete. We're getting ready to push it kind of over the finish line. That being said, I'm happy to report that everything went well. Of course, a project of this size does not go without its hiccups. Our team worked well with the vendor we selected, along with our consultant team, to solve these issues and do it in a cost-effective way that ultimately we're gonna finish the project under budget as a whole, which is not an easy task to do these days. I think you all are understanding that. So I'm very happy to report that. And not only did we finish it necessarily under budget, but we finished it with additional work, utilizing some of the contingency funds that were requested in the initial project. So we're able to kind of not only get the project we wanted done, but ultimately kind of curb some of the long-term financial impacts by rolling some of our long-term CIP items into this. So that'll help the long-term CIP as we look to down the future to our next large project will be the biological piece. That being said, we have about 6 months left of the project, give or take. Some changes are gonna come from the project that will be, again, brought back to this board for consideration. In regards to the capacity of the plant, once we ultimately close out this project is when we go to that 6 MGD allocation. At that point in time, Bath will be up to 1 million, just over 1 million gallons of, I can get you the hard number here, sorry, should have had it open. Bath will have 1,003,638 gallons it can use. That's an increase of 168,273 gallons versus the 5 million allocation.
Will you say that number one more time?
1,003,638 gallons. The increase is equivalent to 796 additional RUs, so hopefully that helps fill that gap and ultimately offer some growth to the township, which I know will be part of the consideration in looking into Chandler Road project, which we're excited about as well as the township. All good things with the project. Again, we are creating a more efficient facility. We're running it currently with 9 operators versus 10. We also are nearing the completion of our on-site generation. So we'll be creating our own electricity on-site, utilizing methane gas. So this is all part of the overall project scope. Circling back, some of the changes you're gonna see coming to the township will be the IPP program. So there'll be some updates to the ordinances that will have to take place. That's a requirement going from the 5 MGD to the 6 MGD. So we're going from a Michigan IPP or a MIP, MIPP, to a federal IP or a FIP. Those requirements happen at that 5 MGD threshold. So anything above 5 MGD, you have to meet the requirements of federal IPP, so industrial pretreatment programs. This is to monitor all the commercial and industrial sites that potentially could have discharges that would be negatively impacting the public waterways. Nothing different overarching, other than largely our code of regulations, which was our internal document that had to be put into your ordinances, have to now match your ordinances. Your ordinances were in a good spot. There will be minimal changes to the ordinances, but largely our code of regulations for the actual SCUMA documentation have increased from a 14 document page to 113, I believe. So more closely mimicking your current ordinances. So, and realistically, that probably should have been done a long time ago to really give it teeth. But we are working through the process right now with Eagle to get that done. But we wanted to provide that update because we will be coming back for your approval and working with your team and legal team to get these adopted once it comes approvable through Eagle. The plan itself, performance-wise, we are happy to report we've had a few rain events that have been, or melts that have increased flows. We are now able to treat all of that flow versus before we would get partial treatment. This was a highly diluted flow and we'd still meet all our MPDS permit requirements, but now we can efficiently meet everything up to our peak flows, and we've tested it up to near 9 million gallons late this fall. And that was, we were able to put everything through the new filters. That was one filter, and we're meeting it, our discharge permit at 5 milligrams per liter discharge, which is outstanding. This is something we dreamt of. So overall, the water quality is going to improve. Our costs are going down in terms of treatment per gallon, and hopefully we have plenty of room for growth for the communities for the next 20, 30 years. I'm happy to answer any individual questions or.
I just have a simple question. What are the townships that are actually part of SCUMA?
Bath Township, DeWitt Township, DeWitt City, and Watertown Township.
Okay. I knew the three, I didn't know the other one.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What's next?
What's next? The next big project at the plant will be the biological process. Those will be the RBCs. I think I probably mentioned that term, at least some of you folks have been around for a while, have heard me say it. RBCs have been in place the same time as everything else. So they've been in place since the 1980 plant inception. We're a workhorse of the plant, and why we didn't tie it into this project was, one, cost. It's gonna be a significant investment. Two is trying to find the right technology to utilize the space we have. We don't wanna, again, the whole mantra of our project is, we're trying to utilize the structures we have and put new technologies in them. It comes at extreme cost saving, nearly 50%, versus just building a brand new one next to it. We're wanting to find something that fits into that space. We have a significant investment in that space, and we're working with different vendors to pilot those future technologies in that space. And right now, they're working fine, but again, we can't guarantee something can continue working on forever. And contributing to that, some ammonia requirements that are being pushed down will drive some of that project as well. But SCUMA's board has taken the position, we're gonna do our best to try to cash fund that. So that's why we've gotten aggressive in our reserve funding, trying to put enough cash away to handle that project when it comes. I mean, we're probably gonna be somewhere in that 2030-ish timeframe. Don't quote me on that, but that's the goal. That'll
Nice
be the
work.
next big project.
Other questions, thoughts?
SCUMA has graciously offered the board tours of the facility, if you'd ever like to do that as a group or individually. Brad gives a great tour, I've heard, so I think that would be helpful in some of your knowledge of what goes on over there, or just at least understanding what happens when we send our waste treatment their direction.
You wanna arrange that?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yep.
I'm in.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
It's
Well,
best,
it always
I will
has
warn you,
me.
it's best in nice weather, a lot of it's outside, but I'm happy to do it whenever you want, but, so whatever works for you folks, happy to do it.
14 below.
No.
Doesn't sound good.
I will decline.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brad.
That's everything under item 6. We move on to item 7, which is the consent agenda, of which we have none, which brings us to item 8, the approval of minutes. We have minutes of the Board of Trustees meeting from January 5th. Does anyone have any questions, thoughts, comments, or a motion to put forward on these minutes?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of the Board of Trustee meeting January 5th, 2026.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion or questions? Seeing none, we'll take a voice vote. All of those in favor of approval of the minutes of the Board of Trustees meeting of January 5th, please say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right, that motion carries. That brings us to item 9, which is the approval of the vouchers. Hopefully, you all sign the vouchers in the office. Any questions, thoughts, concerns, or motions to move this forward?
I'll make a motion to approve the vouchers as presented.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the vouchers. Is there any discussion or questions? All right, hearing none, we'll take a roll call vote.
Mr. Rosecrans?
Yes.
Ms. Kellerman?
Yes.
Mr. Kaki?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Funes Bliss?
Yes.
Ms. Butler Challenger, yes.
That motion carries. Brings us to item 10, the treasurer's report, and it is time for the quarterly treasurer's report.
It's included. All of the calculations are there.
I already looked at it and
Yeah,
filed
any
it.
questions?
Not one.
Okay.
It gave me nightmares of college, that's why I hid it.
Rates have been going down. We'll have to see what happens with the market again.
I didn't see Bank of America on here.
It's because I haven't invested with them yet, Ray. You got them in your investment policy.
All right.
Are you on their board or what?
Pushing to that, isn't it? And you will see that the DDA funds are closed. We've used all those funds, so that will not be on the 2026 ones when I start. We've used them on the sidewalks.
What about the Michigan class? Why did that go down so much?
Because we had to fund year-end money because we used our general fund balance to pay bills at the end of the year.
I think it's mine. Got it. Any other questions or thoughts?
And then I also included, along with the investment policy, you all should have the book in your box if you didn't look at the new issue. Because we are going to start talking about revenue sources. I don't know if you chose a day or anything yet, Ryan?
No,
Okay.
not everyone had responded.
Okay, okay. So I just, when it came, I read it, it gives us some good ideas about what we can do, where, you know, just read it, please. If you have your book, I mean, we put it in here, but your, township focus book should have been in your mailbox.
This right here.
Yep. So you have some ideas of what we're gonna discuss when we have our revenue source meetings that Ryan's setting up.
Great, thank you.
No problem.
So we'll hear from you again in April?
I don't know, 3 months.
April.
Yeah, it's usually the middle of April.
No committee appointments or committee reports tonight. We do have some unfinished business under item 13. Items for introduction discussion. First up is the Webster Road Manhole Project. And we have our SCUMA director and the superintendent to present that.
Yeah, please.
So manhole lining, we've done some spot repairs associated with manhole lining and did some tests on different manhole lining products, at least over the last 10 years since I've been here. There's been a long-standing issue with hydrogen sulfide. I'm sure that the residents understand that and know that, as much of the sewer that is pumped through Bath Township is collected at various spots and then held and pumped again. That tends to generate hydrogen sulfide, which then degrades concrete structures, metal structures, etc. These manholes have been on a long-standing watch list, and we've closely monitored them as the concrete's degraded. We want to get to them before we have a catastrophic failure. Not so dissimilar to the Ann Drive issue that we had 6-7 years ago. So this is a project that we were hoping to kind of line up with a larger lining project through the township as we look to Webster Road and those future requirements. But it made more sense for us to bring it in-house, as the product that is ideal for this is done by Plumbers Environmental. It's a fiberglass structure. Basically, they install it, they blow it up, and then they heat it with steam to form it. This basically puts a whole new structural manhole in place, all without having to bypass, add different products, and then ultimately put people in harm's way. We've had great success with it. They did a pilot for us off behind Classic Drive. There's a manhole back there that we had severe issues with about 5 years ago. They did a pilot back there, and it's worked great. So that's the product we're looking to go with. The funds are available in your reserve, Bath Township's reserve, at SCUMA. If you choose to pay for it that way, that would be great, or if you want to pay for it another way. Ultimately, we're looking to bring this project forward so we can avoid any potential issues. There's 31 total manholes that are kind of scattered throughout the discharge points from Coleman Road all the way down to Slate Road. But those are the most severe manholes that we have in the township, and we want to like to get them addressed sooner than later to avoid any additional costs.
You said it's gonna be covered by our funds over there. Do you have a total?
The estimate right now is $350,000.
I'm sorry, it's in the memo.
No, you're fine, you're fine.
I feel like right now.
That's the estimate we got initially. We're waiting for an official quote back. Yet to receive that. They wanted to review some structural stuff just to make sure that the product they'd be picking would be the right structural integrity. So $350 is our cost estimate right now.
What did you say, from where to where?
It's basically from Coleman Road, so District Coleman Road coming in 208, spotted through, largely through Hawk Hollow,
Okay,
and then there's a couple spotted down through, here all the way to Slate. The majority of them are through Hawk Hollow and Drive, that area.
So you're not talking Coleman Road here,
No, Coleman Road,
East Coleman Road?
yes,
Okay.
sorry,
You're talking the other one?
yeah,
Okay,
I apologize.
yeah, no worries. There's 3 Coleman Roads, so,
Sorry.
and it's supposed to be all the same
Only.
road, but, yeah.
Yep.
Are most manholes still coming from EJ?
It depends on the structure. A lot of your more modern manholes, particularly that will be installed, likely on Chandler Road, like they did 2 or 3 are actually polycrete. Those come out of state, so it's a polymer product mixed with aggregate, so they're impervious to hydrogen sulfide damage. You know, your standard concrete manholes actually probably are coming out of Charlotte, Northern Concrete, but it just depends on the supplier and the vendor at the time.
Okay.
But the manhole caps on the top piece are coming from EJ, yes.
It's nice to be local or in state.
Yep, yep.
Did you have a question, Brenda?
I was just gonna ask when it was gonna start, and I just noticed this at this spring sometime.
Yep, we would probably line, it's somewhat weather dependent, just because of the heating and use of water. Obviously, right now it's not a good time,
Right.
as cold as it's gotten. That's not gonna be ideal, but we anticipate a springtime project. We work with that vendor to fit their schedule to minimize the cost of mobilization. SCUMA does a lot of work on an annual basis with Plumbers Environmental. They've done a ton of work in the township. There's who does the cleaning and televising. So we'll probably try to partner that all together so they mow in one. We're not paying 2 mow fees. So we'll try to minimize costs that way. So they have a crew on site and they'll knock it out.
So do we have anything else left here on the Webster Road lining? It says it in the memo here. Are we all done up here now?
No, so
Okay.
the road work is done, but the actual lining of the sewer system will take place. You remember, I think when Superintendent Dan Waticha was here, we did under the highway, we did some areas over Gary Lane and Drive,
Yep.
if that's correct. That is when you saw that failure of that manhole on, and Gary Lane, was that when I think it basically collapsed in and created much like a sinkhole. And he dealt with that before he left in 2019. So the lining will not disturb any of the work that was done on Webster Road. We were actually pleased with the timing for both the manhole and the sewer lining work.
Okay.
They just enter through the manholes and do what they need to do, and then they'll make sure that they're, taking care of everything and wrapping it up as they move along.
So
But
it'll just be closed for a couple days or something while you're doing this?
The
or-
manholes they won't close the road down for that. They'll be
Okay.
isolated, they might have cones around their truck, but they'll
Correct.
keep traffic open unless it's in that actual lane, they might have to go around, but they would do, a lane closure and have proper.
much less invasive than the construction on Webster Road
Okay.
with the Clinton County Road Commission.
Thank you.
And when it comes to the lining project, same type of thing, it won't be so dissimilar to like our cleaning work, there'll be a truck out there, but it won't completely shut down both
Okay.
lanes or anything, they'll be in and out, and they'll be doing large stretches at a time, so it'll be a fairly quick project, and that's unfortunate due to the cost, that you want it to make it feel like it lasts longer, but, they'll get in and out pretty quickly.
We will do like a public campaign to let people know that we're in the area and what they should do in their homes, and let us know. Brad and his team are always fantastic in taking care of our residents if, water or anything should come into homes, which we don't often have projects that have problems like that, but they are on call to assist with that. So we will do as much news as we can to let people know that it's coming, it's happening, and what they can expect inside their homes, which is hopefully very little to nothing.
And the lining project will come in line with the funding that's the
Correct.
township's working through, so whenever that lines up. But the manhole piece itself, there will be no disruptions to any services of any
Okay.
kind during that process.
EJ, for clarification, EJ, I would assume, stands for East Jordan.
Yes, sir, yep. East Jordan Iron Works, yep.
He and you knew the nomenclature, but I just said, it must be
Well,
East
they
Jordan
changed-
Iron Works.
They changed their name to EJ.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Well, I always just read East Jordan Iron Works on the manhole covers everywhere I go. I mean, I've even seen them out of state,
Oh, yeah.
so,
Around the world.
yeah. Thank you.
Other questions, thoughts, anything you want to add?
No, he covered it well. We work very well together. I'm happy to have them on this project and just to be our partners in general in the work we do.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brad. Enjoy your evening.
All right, if there's nothing else on the Webster Road manhole project, we'll move on to item B. Any objections to that? All right, advisory committee transition, superintendent.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. I will admit this was an exercise that was a little bit more challenging for me than I thought it initially would be with the action of this board. I was much trying to transition the old way of looking at advisory boards to a new way of looking at it, and the supervisor was extremely helpful in helping me understand you almost have to take it down to just eliminate your prior way of thinking and start from scratch. So once we were able to come to that realization, it was a much easier exercise in figuring out how to get that valuable community input that we've always looked for with our boards. I offered to you what my thoughts were, what staff's thoughts were on the couple of boards that will be making this transition as a result of your vote in December. It is a brand-new way of thinking, and I will admit that it may need some tweaking as we move along throughout the process, but we will work with our volunteers who will still get paid. I think that's a very important component of their volunteering their time, is that they are at least covered for the meetings that they spend their time with us. I will go over it briefly, but what I see is a more relaxed way of interacting with staff. We have individual group members that I still hope will be impartial, respectful of both each other and the staff. Group members, I think, will have a more outlined purpose and hopefully will help guide their work as a collective group. The role is really to brainstorm ideas and provide recommendations to my office, but the designated staff that are working with these individual groups. So, for example, when we look at programming for seniors, children, adolescents, families, adults in the community, they will offer those suggestions to both the deputy superintendent and the Parks and Recreation Director, James Seaton, for implementation. So what they should not be focused on is decision-making. What they are offering are recommendations as to programming and activities that will benefit the community at any age group and community events as well. So they will still continue to deal with, I still want to call it Bath Days, I'm sorry, Bath Fest. They will still continue to work through and plan those things, but the meetings will be less formal. So what I've offered to you as below is that I have no board members sitting on these citizen groups, and I'm open to some discussion on that. The agendas and the necessary supporting documentation will be handled by staff. The meetings will not have to be chaired any longer, but those staff will lead those discussions and take those notes. There will be no official minutes, and they will not be videotaped or live streamed. There still will be a regular meeting schedule, which I think is important to establish when those meetings will occur for the people that are serving on those groups. And then staff will keep track of their attendance so that they can be paid annually, just like we do with the other more formal advisory groups. I offered a selection of members, so we will have a separate committee application for interested residents, and those applications will be reviewed by staff members. So Taylor, James, for the group that we're speaking to in terms of programming. And then my plan was to have the trustees rotate. There's 4 years and 4 of trustees. So having you guys rotate on a 1-year basis and serve as someone who will review those applications for those available spots on those groups. And make a recommendation along with staff so that there still is some board input and other people seeing the applications and making those recommendations, but those will not come to this group for review and approval as they were in the past as the supervisor makes his recommendations. And then they will be made to me for selection, and we will notify them, much in the same way the other groups work. We'll keep those same lines of communication open, but it'll be a much less formal process. So, but still with plenty of what I hope is good feedback from the trustee that's sitting at that time and those staff members. So I'm open to items I've missed, where you have feedback, where you'd like to see changes.
Two questions.
Yes, please.
No video?
No.
Why is that? And what was your reasoning behind that?
Because these are citizen advisory groups, and they're not voting, and they're not making
Right.
formal recommendations, I saw no need for that.
I didn't think that any of the groups could make decisions in the past.
They,
What I see just is the videoing of each, session, if you will, just allows the public to, hear and see what's going on. So they at least can maybe embrace what's going on and have some feedback. And my other question was no board members on any of these groups. That was, in my opinion, was just so that somebody on the board, knew what was going on in these groups and could pass that on to the other board members.
so with them being, before you get to your question, Sherry, please, if it's relevant to his,
It's
go ahead.
relevant.
Yeah, go ahead.
That, can I sit on a board, not as a board member, but as a citizen? I'm forbidden, because I sit on this board, to even be a member of that.
I think those are some discussions that need to take place here, but my intent was this is a very informal group,
Right.
making recommendations that don't have to be essentially taken.
Right, no, I get that.
So if
part.
you say, I think you should hold a banjo, teach everybody to play banjo, and we don't decide to pursue a banjo, program, nothing against banjos. That, it really is that level of programming, so I didn't see it as needing a board member too. Cause it's actually, the way you have approved it, it's advising me and my staff.
Yeah, I get
Yeah,
that
that's, in my opinion, that's how it's always been. Ironically, I'm presently on two of the boards, Senior Services and Park Lake Advisory. And Park Lake Advisory is near and dear to my heart, so
I would agree with you.
is there going to be any, public allowed to these? Like in every other meeting, the public, it's,
How can we forbid it?
what's that?
How can
I
we
don't,
possibly
I don't,
forbid it?
the goal was not to cut off any public involvement. The
that's what
goal
I'm
was
just saying.
really to have them be, as you voted. I mean, you set the parameters when you said these were going to be different working groups. Is really that they would operate in a different manner. So I don't see cutting off the public, but I don't see there being, the formality as there is with the other groups.
Yeah, well, just the whole reason in the past for having committees, advisory groups, was to keep the public involved in all the goings-on of the township. And this just seems to be closeting the thought process that's going on.
I don't believe that, because if you read right here, they're gonna create regular meetings, and they're gonna be posted on our website, just like the meetings are now. Nobody's preventing you from going to a planning commission meeting, or, I could go to every meeting I want currently, even though I'm a board member, but I don't sit on that meeting,
All right,
like you guys did, as trustees.
okay,
You can still go, the meetings are still gonna be posted, it states right here.
good.
And the public can still go, so I don't know why you're concerned the public's not going to be able
I-
to attend the meetings.
They're saying serve, I guess we're missing that word, serve on it.
I was just going by what Karen was telling us.
Right, but that word is, no member will serve, where
Yeah.
it can't say you can't go to the meeting.
Right, you can attend any of the
Attend it,
meetings,
yeah.
just like you can now.
Right,
You just
Okay.
don't have to sit at the table, and
Right.
maybe they're not even gonna sit up here, maybe they're gonna have tables sitting out there because it's a less informal group.
You must have been involved in formulating this
Nope.
project then.
I have no idea. I didn't actually read this
No,
until now
this,
anyways.
let me be clear, this came from me and my staff based on what you voted for in December.
Brenda's got a question here.
Karen, can you tell me, how are you gonna post it on the, website? It's not gonna be in the same area as the
So
committees?
we would have a different, probably a different, I would defer to the deputy superintendent because it's the nomenclature, it follows a certain rule. But I would say there would be some citizen, groups where we could have that announced and those would be listed and we could put the materials listed there, just like we do for the other groups.
Okay, and are they gonna meet every month, every couple months? Do you have an idea, or you're not sure yet?
I don't, I think the programming group, because it handles Bath Fest as well, probably needs to meet at least on a monthly basis. I would say once I talk to the group from the Park Lake Advisory Board, I'm sure they would like their work to continue on a monthly basis. So it's just a matter of figuring out, roads obviously meet, at a different interval, and therefore they meet on an as-needed basis. So I don't see them having a regular schedule. Their work usually is conducted around when the projects come out and when we need to make decisions to the Clinton County Road Commission. So for a couple of these, yes, it'll be regular monthly, but for one especially, it doesn't need to be. It might meet 3 times a year or two or three times a year.
So everybody will be notified, or you can go out to the website and you can look and see what's gonna be on the agenda, so.
Correct.
People can still come if they wanna come.
Other
I had
thoughts?
some feedback from Kate, who couldn't be here.
Okay.
My advice to her was to talk to you separately after this as well, but she wanted me to bring up some of the same things that the other trustees have mentioned. She said she didn't think it reflected any of the things that we talked about in the strategic planning session or since then. She is concerned about the reporting back function to the board, the no minutes, no video, no board members as well. Concerns about transparency, and some rationale about why board members can't be on the committees. I thought we talked a lot about setting up a system to report to the board. None of that is included. I told her I would share that
Okay.
tonight.
I think the thing here is that much of this work is operational, and that reporting is done through me and the departments, which I didn't provide a schedule, but I'm still meeting with my staff on departmental updates to the board. So the Park Lake Advisory Board often comes to this group with their annual report. I don't see that changing if they would like to continue that work. They are currently advising me on on treatment of the lake. That will not change, so, I think I'm missing the part where everybody feels like they won't have the opportunity to update the board or, update operationally, like that, those are things that my office takes care of, like the contract with the, PLM Lake Management, for treatment of the lake, so, I guess operationally, these are things that are being, implemented at the senior center, in Parks and Recreation, in Bath Fest. These are things that will still continue to be reported out to the board, but because they're operations and those fall within the responsibilities of my job description and by state law, these are things that you will receive updates on. So I'm looking to how I can fit these things together in the structure that was approved.
My concern, excuse me, my concern is just that, as in the past, in my recordable history in my brain, we've had very haphazard reporting back to this group on the goings-on of various committees. That's my concern. And that's kind of a segue to, why don't we have a board member on each one of these groups?
But there's been a board member on each of those groups, and still there's been haphazard. I'm not trying to use that against you, I'm saying if that's the structure, if board members have sat 2 committees and you still feel like the communication has been haphazard, then how does the trustee or the board member change the reporting back to this body?
Well, other than the groups that I serve on, I really don't have an educated guess on that,
Okay,
because I already know when I'm on the board.
yeah.
The idea that I had pitched in my memo to you all was a real shift from a governance recommendation to the board to operational recommendations to the staff, since that is where most committees seem to want to play, and we kept trying to sort of draw them back. Wait, that's not your area to be giving feedback in. And so I think my understanding of what the superintendent has done is to really sort of take those committees down a notch into the actual day-to-day operations, where they're making recommendations on, what games should we have at the senior center? What should we do at the park? That isn't necessarily stuff that the board should be engaged in. That's not to say we can't or we shouldn't have opinions, but that's not board-level engagement governance of the township. That's what our staff is doing. And so that's why I think you're seeing the separation here, where these committees is, again, I'm reading it, would be more informal, more, focus group isn't exactly the right word, I wouldn't call them that, but somewhat that, giving some feedback, ideas to the staff to say, okay, that's great, that's great that you all wanna have pickleball, let's look into that. Again, pickleball isn't what this board should be engaged in, so I think that's where you're seeing the difference. My understanding, I don't mean to put words in your mouth, so tell me if it's wrong, is that you were working on a departmental reporting out, which would include what the committees are working on and talking about.
Correct.
At an ongoing basis, like we would have an item on the agenda that is like the Parks Department, the Recreation Department, the
Correct.
Building Department, each meeting, and they would report back to us on sort of the bigger picture, but also what the committees have been saying to them. Is that?
Correct, and
fair?
that is what I'm working on. I started with the chiefs, and it's different in fashion than we've done in the past. So outlining, because the problem for them too is will they go too far into the weeds giving their reports as well? So I want to outline it so we're all clear, so that we're all working it towards the same end, so that when departments come here, they're giving you the appropriate things that you need to know, and not just their day-to-day, because that, again, is there a need for more staffing? Is there a need for more vehicles? So it's going to be the things that are pertinent to you, but also those day-to-day operations where you don't normally spend your time governing. So it's a little bit my world, and it's a lot of it your world too. So it's making sure that everybody is not working harder, but giving this board what it needs, the information it needs to make good decisions on behalf of the township.
Are you flexible at all on the board members serving on the committees issue?
I am, but what I would caution is that the message, I think, in what you did was really that we were eliminating the old way of doing things. And so, and that's what I had trouble with too, is I was trying to apply a new way of doing things amongst an old way of doing things. Do we want board members, in a sense, it is giving recommendations, but are you giving those recommendations to staff? I mean, the board member role used to be, yes, you were helping to make decisions, but you were also a liaison from that group to the board. Now that these groups are no longer advising the board, what I would challenge you to understand and explain what that function of the trustee on that board would be.
Oversight.
It's not that type of board anymore.
This board is.
But a citizen group making recommendations on programming doesn't need oversight.
Okay.
And I
Maybe
would
that's
challenge
a
that
mischoice of words.
I would challenge that it was never about oversight. It was always about being a liaison between the board and that group that was advising the board. These groups are not advising the board.
Yeah, I don't know if any of the groups really advised the board, because you made the decisions in the end, like hiring PLM to do the weed treatments. And
No, I mean, I would challenge you and just say that, like, those contracts will still come to the board.
well,
So
for final
if
approval,
PL,
yes.
yes, but that's not effectively what, the items that still need to come to this board for approval will still come to this
Well,
board for
heavens, yes,
approval.
yeah,
Whether there's a trustee or not a trustee.
right.
Because that's my
I
job
guess,
to make
I
sure
guess
the things
the main
that,
reason is because I like going to that meeting.
you're still welcome to come.
Okay, when I read this over, I did read it over.
Okay.
You're the monitor here, must be,
No.
apparently. But anyway, I didn't see where it said, the public will be invited. And it does say in respectful of the public, staff, and each other, under guidelines, but, I just didn't see that, so.
Yeah.
I thought you were trying to eliminate that.
No, I would challenge that, I'm not. Could it take place in a different room? It could take place in the conference room. It might not take place in this room,
Oh,
having
that
them
doesn't-
sit at
that
the
doesn't matter
dais,
at all.
or it could be in here with tables, but, no, this building will still be open, public can still come. There's no reason to think that the public is being cut off
No.
from this. It's just a less formal way of operating.
And I would think that the videotape of, live streaming would be the way to alleviate all of my questions, if you will.
Okay.
I mean, you wouldn't have to, and necessarily, you wouldn't have to have, physical attendance at the meetings, and you wouldn't miss anything, because you could tune in, just like you do now.
But when you say, Ray, miss anything, what do you mean? Miss what?
Just changing the color on the slide in the park, if that was important, and somebody didn't report it, or somebody didn't bring it up, or somebody didn't record it. I'm just saying that
But that's operational. We have no vote
it
at the board.
doesn't matter.
It does, I mean, that example is
It does in
like
the
so
way
out
that we
there.
have never had an influence on that. We don't have an influence on that right now.
I'm
The
not
committees never did.
I guess I'm not advocating influence. I'm advocating openness, and
Do you think the staff is hiding that they're
Community.
gonna change the color of the slide?
no, but there may be somebody out there that does. That's what I'm saying.
And then that's
Sure, but
when
there's 14,000 people in the township, so if one person is mad about the slide color, that cannot guide what the staff is
I
doing.
totally agree. That's just something that came to my head, and I thought I should bring it up.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's actually a good example of what they might talk about. Again, I'll go back to my pickleball exercise. Does the public really need the video of a committee talking about whether we should have pickleball or not?
It doesn't matter if they need it, if it matters if they have the opportunity to tune in if they want.
But they don't have that right now.
Yes, they do.
They don't.
Really?
Yes, because operations is done by the staff. These committees are not engaged in these
I'm
things right
talking
now.
about tuning in on a video.
I'm talking about that too. Nobody right now gets a video of the staff back in their office.
Well, what the, that's not what I was saying.
It is what I'm saying though, Ray. That's where the decision making is happening.
Right.
So we're not taking anything away. The public currently doesn't have that access and currently isn't involved in that.
Of watching the committees work?
No, Ray, making the decisions about the operations of the
That's not what I
township.
said.
I know, I'm trying to get you to hear what I'm saying.
I know exactly what you're saying.
So you are saying that something
That's
is being
always happened
taken
back there.
away, but nothing is being taken away. People don't have that access now.
You aren't hearing what I'm saying.
Say it again.
I'm saying that I think the public should have the opportunity to watch eyeballs, what's going on.
Right, they don't have that opportunity right now.
If they tune into a televised meeting on a committee, they sure as heck do.
None of the committees are doing that work, Ray.
Not anymore.
They never were. That's operations. They never
I don't-
were engaged
I
in
guess I don't
operations.
understand what you're trying to convey to me, because.
The day-to-day
Let me-
running of
let
the
me-
township.
Let me say this. The committees operated on a monthly basis, most of them.
Yes.
They did stuff, like talk about pH of the lake, talk about the price of meals at the senior center. Just stuff that.
Yes, most of that they should not have been talking about, Ray.
No suggestions?
The committees never had authority or the
I'm not-
calling
I'm
or
not
the
saying authority.
instruction
I guess what I'm
to
asking is,
debate the price of the meals.
why did this, I can't say us, because I was just, I've been here a year.
Yeah.
Why did this board allow all of that to go on if it never was needed?
That's why we got rid of it.
I couldn't agree more. Why has the boards allowed that to go on for years? That's why we stopped it, because it didn't make sense.
So what you're saying is, and you're keeping those, so I can see where some of the other boards, like the art committee for one. But anyway, let's just go on.
The only reason I'm pushing back is I wanna make it clear that the public is not losing anything in this.
Well, I don't care how you paint it, they are. They're losing the ability to see, if they want, those former meetings that used to happen, people just gabbing about stuff.
Ray, my job description, which you've seen several times, I think,
Yep,
is the day-to-day operations.
Correct.
Me and my staff are the ones that decide ultimately what the price is at the senior center, or if the
Always.
slide is blue.
Yep.
Or those have been, far be it from just me in this position, at least six gentlemen prior to me, that has been their job. It's not me, it's not new with me. I do not have something that everybody else didn't have. The day-to-day operations fall under my responsibility. So I think what the argument is that those things were being discussed, but those were not the people making those decisions.
That's, yeah, that's clear as the nose on your face.
Okay, so
mean, that
I
was
think
never
he's
the- That was
saying,
never the question or the argument that I was making. The decision-making.
But even the recommendation, that was not what those committees should have been spending time on. That's not what they were called to do. If you
They
read,
were-
if you read this about how committees function, it'll tell you exactly the same thing I'm saying.
Well, I can read that, and then I can explain to you what went on in the various and sundry committees in this township that I've been serving on for the past 20 years.
Right, and it didn't work. It wasn't working. So
There-
why then would we replicate it in a new structure?
I still, if something was that pervasively inappropriate, why in the hell did these boards over the past 20 years sit on their hands and do nothing?
I can't answer for them, but we changed it. We saw that it wasn't working and we changed it.
Well, I guess my argument was, it was doing something, but it wasn't doing everything everybody wanted.
What was it
And-
doing?
Well, it was bringing about what the public was talking about and what they were feeling and what they didn't like and what that public group thought should be done at various things. And I bring up like the senior center, you know?
Right.
There's a lot of things.
None of
that-
those things are what a committee of a township board should be doing.
Okay, then why isn't that something that we've seen before?
Because this was published in December, Ray. But it's the
So-
same thing we've been talking about for a year,
Okay,
that the committees aren't working, and the committees were trying to do things that they weren't called to do. And we could not articulate the instructions of what we wanted them to do. The senior committee is a great example of this. They came to us, what, 3, 4 times screaming, saying, we want to know what you want us to be doing, and we couldn't give them a sentence about what we wanted them to do,
why?
because we didn't know what we wanted them to do.
Okay,
But Ray, you've been part of that. I mean, you've been at this table when they've come and said, what do we do? We had a town hall meeting about it. What do we do? And all of us on this board, including me, crickets, because we didn't know what we wanted them to do.
crickets.
Not an idea. Not one idea for what we wanted them to do. So my goal in switching that was to do exactly what you're saying, to acknowledge that that wasn't working. We didn't have instructions for what the board, or what the committees should do. Now, we've funneled them into where they want to spend their time. They want to talk about the price of a meal at the senior center. It's now appropriate because they're talking about it with the decision makers, whereas we weren't the decision makers of the price of the meal.
Right.
So now they have better access to the people to do the things they want to do. Whether the staff takes those recommendations or not, I think they'll have to deal with.
Okay.
And I think, you know, if the staff didn't take a suggestion that 6 committee members were for, I would imagine they'd show up at this meeting and say, hey, we told Karen something else, but the township is going in a different direction, and then we can figure out what we
Well,
do with that.
that's up to her. I mean, she's the ultimate decision maker for those things. Staff is,
Yeah,
for all of the recommendations, if you will.
yeah.
Okay, I guess the whole reason I'm saying this and having this conversation is just because it appears to take information away from the general public. Prima facie.
Sure, but I haven't heard you articulate what information.
They're
Never
still gonna
mind.
be able to attend the meetings, they're still gonna be posted online, so they'll know
Right.
when the meetings
Yeah,
are.
and we'll go to our wonderful website and call it right up.
Ask Taylor, she'll be able to do it when it's time.
Okay,
I mean, our meeting minutes are out, meeting
I'm
times
done.
are out there.
for now.
I don't want to shut you up, Ray. I'm just,
No, you're not shutting
I'm
me up.
trying to
I don't think you
get to the,
could
like, the
shut me
crux
up.
of, like, I don't want to cut the public out of anything. But I want to make sure that the presentation here tonight isn't that's what we're doing.
I would like to be clear in that the time for you to talk is now, because
Yeah.
we are creating this, and I'm not saying it won't change, but it's not gonna change on a monthly basis.
Well-
It's going to change down the road if we look at this in a year and we say, is this working, is this not working? So you saving this for another day isn't helpful because
Well-
we're creating it right now.
One of the problems I have is I'm not a professional up here. I'm a citizen, basically. And so, like other people, I'm positive other people in this community, their brain works just about as fast as mine does sometimes, not in a 2-hour meeting. I mean, I can't read something, think about it, even, you know, if I get the agenda or the topic, you know, a week before. Sometimes things come to you when you
I
least
do-
expect it.
I understand
And so
that.
you can't make a
I understand,
logical
but
decision.
Ryan and I are gonna meet with these people
Yeah.
next week. So your time, I'm just saying in general, a
Yeah.
board member's time to share these things is now, because just like the skid steer, and I thank you for calling me, that was done the day after the board
What
meeting.
was
The skid steer, you didn't think we
Oh,
should buy a
oh,
skid
yeah,
steer.
yeah. Well,
You were
see,
concerned,
and
you
that's-
said rent it.
That was,
Ray, it was done the next day.
oh heavens, yeah, I knew you'd already done it. I just said, did anybody ever think about that? That was all. And
Yeah, we
that-
did,
That's
but-
a random thought.
But I'm
that-
just saying, like, if you have thoughts in a
Yeah.
week, like, it's going to be unrolled, unveiled, and off to the
Okay.
races.
And the crux of all of this, of my questions, was simply, as a citizen, what I thought, observed, processed in that short amount of time. I just see things disappearing that people grow accustomed to. And that's why I brought that up.
Yeah, I mean, this is a change. We've had these committees, some of them for decades. So it is a change.
Yeah. And the people on the committees, myself included, that gives you kind of a sense of belonging, being, and being a part, not of quote-unquote decision-making, but of the thought process behind these things, like the parks, and like the lake, and the senior center, and such. That's all.
Yeah, and that piece we're preserving.
And I've had my spiel, I'll take my soapbox and go home.
Well, I do think we should get a report in a year from Karen and her staff about how they feel it's going, so that we can decide, was this the right switch? Because I don't know if this is the right switch either, right? What I do know is that the committees were saying, we don't know what to do, and the board was saying, we don't know what to tell you to do. So this is a change, it might not be the change, but I think you all should do some evaluation and let us know how things are going, and is it a different structure? Do we switch it back and figure out how to fix that? I mean, I'm open to anything. What I don't wanna do is waste people's time, and I think that's what people were telling us.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, as you mentioned, we're gonna roll this out, and I hope you all join us at that meeting next week, to current committee members. So if you do have thoughts, I would get them to Karen, you know, in the next 5-6 days. We're going to meet on Tuesday, because I messed up the date when I communicated it to everyone, so I'll own that. I don't know how I did, but we were supposed to meet on Monday. What I think I told you all was Monday. It's now Tuesday, because we've communicated that out. And, Taylor, did we land on this room?
Yes.
So it'll be here instead of the senior center, because the senior center is booked that day.
Yep.
And
So-
we'll put a sign on the door, and, we'll be here.
The thing keeps going, I mean, it's the Park Lake Advisory Board. There's no way that, and pardon me if it's you or you, they don't have the knowledge
You're correct.
to
And
put forth a pertinent
You're correct.
agenda, and so.
That is a conversation that I almost thought, like, Dan and the Park Lake Advisory Board almost needs to continue on the way that they
Yeah.
were, because they are the experts in that, and you're correct, I have no clue, I would not know how to moderate their meetings, I wouldn't know how to do most anything. So,
That's just one of the things that
it,
came
it,
up.
it is one of the groups that I contemplated just saying, like, Dan, keep doing the business the way you've been doing business. Because that is a very specialized group of people, with specific knowledge.
And it's unique,
It is unique.
and I can understand, you know,
It
The
very much
touchy-
is one of the
the-
things
the-
that I couldn't do
the
without.
touchy subject of the senior center. I can understand where that should be addressed, definitely.
Well, not with the Park Lake advisory board, we can't necessarily rely on a volunteer committee to be able to run the lake. Because eventually, those people may decide to do something else, or we won't have that expertise in-house. But it's not as if Karen would then understand pH levels and killing weeds. We'd hire expertise for that.
Exactly, and that's, another cost factor.
Yeah, I mean, while we don't need to, why would we? But I'm saying, we can't count on volunteers to always have that expertise.
Oh, very much so.
You know,
In
because
fact,
we're just lucky that we're close to MSU and happen to have, brilliant PhDs in this.
you'll probably lose at least 3 PhDs off there in the near future, also.
Yeah, yeah,
Just by virtue of attrition.
right, right. And, they want to do other things in their life, so.
And we're old,
I didn't say that.
You look at me like that all the time.
I didn't
He
say
looks at-
that.
To be fair, Ray, he looks at like me like that all the time.
All right, thank you.
Will you make sure you connect with Kate, though?
I will, yep, I will.
So, just repeating my oops from last meeting, we're gonna meet Tuesday, which is the 27th, at 6 o'clock in this room. I will communicate out to the committee members about the location change, and apologies to you all about the date change. It was very much inadvertent. I would encourage you to read this handout. I just read, this is December's issue of Township Focus. I just happened to thumb through it this weekend, and it was really, really helpful as I thought about what a committee should be, the things that we were not doing as committees, the difference between a committee and a commission. So really helpful. I encourage you all to take a peek at this.
I can't believe they didn't have that before, in some form or fashion.
Oh, I'm sure they did, but they just put it into this, frequently asked questions format that they have in every issue. And it just happened to be on committees, so maybe that's actually something we could provide for next week too.
Sure.
Because I think, Ray, you are right, we have not done a good job of emulating what an official township committee should look like as laid out here. So it is confusing to people.
The one thing I hear is that, from recent memory in decades, is that we're doing something that, we never told anybody about, or it doesn't matter if it's printed on the website or whatever,
Yeah.
I just see it as a negative of being bad.
Yeah.
I don't like to be bad. Sometimes I do, but, not in this instance.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll change that feedback, but I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. Thanks.
Anything else you need from us, Superintendent, on that?
I don't. Thank you.
All right, that brings us to C, the plan for discussing revenue options. I have updated the memo that I provided you at the last meeting based on our conversation that we'd like to do this over 1, maybe 2 meetings. I've sent you all a doodle poll to figure out when you're available. I have 2 of you still left that have not done that. I'm gonna grab you before we leave the room today.
May I make a statement on that?
Sure.
I instantly thought, why in the heck don't we just do this on the same day that we have these meetings? Only, like, in the morning, maybe before, like 5 o'clock, like we did.
I think he chose his availability.
And, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, who the hell chose these times anyway?
I mean,
9 o'clock in the
you
morning.
might be available in the morning of a Monday. That doesn't mean Kate or I are available. So I try to choose times that I could guarantee I could be there. I am worried about Kate because she's got to get out of school. to
Yeah, I
be here
know.
during
And,
a
well,
time.
and she has an hour drive back here from after she gets out of work, so.
Yeah, I mean, I anticipate she just will take a day off for these.
I think we should have the meetings at her school, so she wouldn't have to do that.
You want transparency? You're gonna leave the township? So, that's it. There's nothing else I want to share with you about that. I just wanted you to see, that we're moving on your
The
suggestion.
revenue options.
Okay.
And, we're reaching out to our, financial advisor from Maynard, to join us and provide us some training during these sessions.
Correct. That is complete.
Sorry, Miles. I always feel bad when we keep him here long.
Well, it's his job. He's okay. He's a big boy.
They were
We're worried about you.
We're talking about you.
Ray's worried about it.
Sitting you through
You're not
this.
eating enough, you're not getting enough sleep. All right, that brings us to items for action. Special use permit amendment for the Bath Township Equity Group. And we have the planner here to address that.
Sorry about being distracted there. All right, if the board recalls from last time this was introduced, the land use we're looking at is a flex storage land use. The designation that we've given our BSNA system here in Bath Township is warehouse / storage, because we don't have flex storage, you'll find is not an identified land use in the township. However, this is a very common and kind of, I would say, like hot land use right now. It's something that is becoming more common, not just in the Midwest, but across the country. If you recall, essentially, these are kind of a storage plus land use. I don't know exactly how to describe them, but they're larger units and they encompass, it's more than people just putting boxes in them. The example that was used at the planning commission was like a contractor that does paint. Maybe they're running an LLC out of their house, painting the exteriors of homes. The LLC has become quite successful, not to the point where they want to make the capital investment of a physical space that they own, but more so than they're growing out of their garage. So this is kind of that medium gap space where an LLC could kind of grow into as the business expands. Which I think is probably a pretty appropriate example of what this spaces will likely be used for. The developers express that's kind of how they'll market the product to potential users. There was, you'll find, I gave you all, or if you weren't here yet, I at least put it in your spot on your desk, a couple pages of a site plan sheet and then an updated set of conditions. If you'll recall, last time there was discussion about drives and turnaround areas. That condition's been placed in your packet now, and this site plan kind of shows how a drive could be formulated. I did have our engineer take a quick glance at this today. Obviously, there wasn't a ton of time. We just got this on Friday, but at a high level, they felt comfortable with it. They thought it looked reasonable. You can kind of see how the vehicle was modeled and able to make a 3-point turnaround, and that was modeled by Keb's Engineering firm that has done good work in the Lansing area. I think is widely known and respected. Other than that, there's a number of conditions. Any questions on the conditions or the overall proposal itself?
I just wonder how on earth did Jeff come up with the name of that LLC?
Bath Township Equity Group LLC.
That was amazing. That was it, thanks.
Yet the storage is still called East Lansing Storage.
People are still
Unimpressed.
fighting for it now.
I don't think you heard you.
Lansing Storage.
Zero tolerance.
All right,
All right, thank you so
You
much.
want us to move this forward then?
The developer and the planning department, and I guess the planning commission are all, the developer's seeking action, the planning division is recommending action.
Great. Someone wanna take action?
I'll go ahead. A motion to conditionally approve the Bath Township Equity Group LLC site plan amendment and special use permit amendment with 20, because we added that one, proposed conditions of approval as listed from the planning commission.
I'll second.
Well put. Are there any questions, concerns before we move forward?
Yeah, can we get them to change their name?
Too late now.
That was why I said that, off, tongue in cheek.
Other questions, concerns? If not, we'll move to a roll call vote.
Ms. Kellerman?
Yes.
Mr. Kotke?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Funes Bliss?
Yes.
Ms. Butler Challenger, yes. Mr. Rosecrans?
Yes.
All right, that motion passes. That brings us to new business. We have no items for introduction or discussion. We have 4 items for action. First up is the Administrative Assistant Firefighter Medical First Responder position creation from the superintendent. Is that the actual title?
It is, actually. The chief is here, Chief Kunter is here, if you have any questions of him. So this idea came up during the 2025 budget, or 2026 budget planning. You saw this several times as the board went through the budget, the finance committee, for recommendation. This was included in the funding for that department. It was very important to us that we model this consistently after jobs that were common around here. So as you are aware, Christy Colby, who has been a fixture, an important fixture in this township, this job description was modeled after her administrative assistant job position, so it is consistent with the township's. Sorry, I'm having a moment here with the speaking outside.
Who wrote that one? Christie for that?
Christie's?
No, for her assistant. Is there a place you?
No, no, this was modeled after her position, Christie's
Oh,
position.
after her position.
After
Okay,
Christie's
I thought you said
position.
it was after the assistant.
No, 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 after her,
Okay.
her position. So it was consistent. And then important to Chief Kunter was that this person could also respond to firefighting calls and medical first responder calls as well. So it is, there's a lot to say there. And that is why it's coming to you in one board meeting. Certainly, if you need more time to consider this, there is more time. But I brought it to you because we had been planning for it for some time, and it's been in front of you and mentioned to you several times. And it's based off of a job description that's currently in place today, with some other added elements. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer those questions. Chief is also here since he will be the one that will be managing this position down at his department. He is here as well if you'd like to know how something's gonna work. But before you tonight for action, because we believe with the planning for the department that fits this community and the growing calls for service, that this is critical and is important to get on the books and move forward with.
I've got a couple of
Please.
questions. I know we may have some internal interest that meets this requirement of a
Correct.
mix. How likely is this mix going to be to pick up long-term?
I think that there is I would let Chief weigh in on this too, if he would like to, because he's been hard at work in that industry for several years. But I do believe that you will find this mix of both administrative and a working professional firefighter and medical first responder is quite common. I think not even just internally, I think there will be some excellent external candidates as well. We will post this publicly for anyone to apply for that's interested. But I do think that it is, long-term will be, you're asking me, do I think we'll find good candidates that have this mix of experience?
I think the
Or stay?
amount of people who have this mix in society is very low. So,
probably answer
do
that.
you believe we will always be able to hire someone with this
Oh, I
mix,
see
is
what
my
you're saying.
question?
I do. I do. But I would defer to my chief if he would like to comment on it as well.
I think so. A lot of the administrative assistants are just administrative assistants. I think you've got a concern with limiting it to being MFR. I think MFR is I believe, a 30-hour course. I don't think it's uncommon for people to be able to have those credentials. I was really in favor of having those restrictions because, quite honestly, I need the response. And I think I looked at it as a benefit on the return of the investment, if you will.
Will we be
Because
paying more because they have that credential?
I'll pay them as much as you'll let me.
Does it come out of your budget?
It does come out of his budget.
We budgeted for it.
Yeah, I already knew that.
Is that the intent, that that credential will get a person more money?
Honestly, the rate, I don't want to.
I don't think that it's structured for more money because of that credential.
I would offer that too.
Okay.
Why not?
Because
Should it be?
the pay scale that we have for firefighters and the medical first responders, I'm aware of what that is, and the top of the rate is probably less than some of our office people are making too.
Really? That's terrible.
So I think there's some
Work on that, Ray.
rate, I think the class and compensation study will help that this year to bring those into balance, but I do think that there's some some pay adjustments that need to occur, but I think at this time, I think that, I think people that have been here that have the experience, deputy clerk, deputy treasurer, are probably making more than our full-time firefighters at this point.
But that to me is an argument why they should be paid more. You're asking those people to have one skill, either administrative assistant or MFR or fire, whatever. You're looking now for a person with two.
They should be paid more, in my opinion.
So wouldn't that justify higher payment?
I think that Chief and I, in looking at local communities and positions of this nature, to make sure that we're being competitive, I think that we've struck a sweet spot. I don't know that that'll always be the case, and it may come that eventually this becomes a matter of we, need to fill for this position, and we don't find somebody with those qualifications. We may have to separate it at that point, but for now, I do think it's highly likely we could get a really great candidate or multiple candidates.
So if you're not paying more, why do you want to hamstrung yourself with making it required? Why don't you make it as something that you would like rather than must have?
I think this is what we would like. I mean, I do think I think people will answer the call for this. I think it'll be very popular, actually. In my mind, it's the best of both worlds, and I think we can achieve that right now with the department the way it is, and that we're looking for somebody to fill multiple skills. Maybe I'm not answering your question directly, but.
No, you're not. So we're not going to pay them more is what I'm saying.
I think the amount that we're paying with the small addition of having an MFR requirement is
Competitive.
very competitive.
Right, but there's
For
no
what?
benefit for the MFR. You've both said that. Is
For them to
I understand. There's no cash benefit for having that credential.
I don't think that and I may be missing the question, looking at your face, I see the same thing.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
People get credentials.
Yes.
And that is value in the workplace. Like master's degrees, bachelor's degrees, this is a credential.
Good on your
Usually you
It may
get
not be
paid for a
spelled-
credential.
And it may not be spelled out that, well, we're paying more because you're also MFR. I don't think maybe that's not spelled out very well. I think, in my opinion, the pay structure, the amount that the salary that we would be offering an administrative assistant justifies having an MFR certification.
So you're
Certainly.
offering a little more.
I think
Than what
Bath
we would
Township is
pay an
offering
office assistant right now.
a very lucrative
I don't think
amount
that's
of
what
money,
they
a very fair amount of money.
Is it
across
more
the
than an
administrative
office
world?
assistant now makes?
It's more than what a firefighter currently makes.
Is it more than what our?
Well, that's not,
Christie's
that's not,
assistant
That's
makes?
not the question.
yeah, that's
I mean,
not a
You
a
can't
good
compare,
comparison.
Christie also has 25 years of
I'm
experience.
not talking about Christie. I'm
Okay.
talking about an office assistant. Is it more than our office assistants are making?
Yes.
Comparable.
I don't know what that means. Is the dollar amount more or less?
It's comparable. It depends on who comes in here and how many years of experience they have. It would be adjusted.
There's a range.
It's
Okay,
a,
two equal candidates then. One takes this job, one takes that job. Who's getting paid more? Same years of experience, same everything.
The deputies
Same
have to
candidate.
the deputies have to cover, like if I get off sick or whatever, they have to cover my job. Same with Jennifer. They step right in and they will make decisions just like I make decisions.
And
I
what is the
get
time
that, I'm
difference?
just,
Not be the
I'm
case
talking about
with
money.
fire.
Can just someone answer the
will.
question about money?
That would not be the case.
The range
It will
is-
not be the case in the fire
An
department.
administrative assistant for
Right.
the fire chief is not gonna step in and start
I
making.
think they are
Right.
trying to say no without saying
They are
no.
saying no, and you're not
But the
catching it.
deputies up here would, they are our backup, mine and Jennifer's
I
backup.
think the range is 50 to, what was the top of the range that you gave me?
65.
So the range, so it's built in, like, depending on the experience, 50 to 65.
Right.
Are the two of these ladies out here making over $60,000?
No, that's not what I'm asking.
Okay, what are you asking?
If that same person took a job there, would they be making the same amount as they would in this position?
No.
More or
Is
less?
it more or is it less?
More.
So they'd be making more here or
No,
there?
they'd be making more in
There.
the fire department if they took this current job that we have before you, they would be making more, if we're comparing two equal people,
Right.
they would be making more at the fire department than they would be here because of the additional MFR that was built in
And firefighter.
to.
So there,
So, Brian,
so there
okay, put it
is
this way.
some
We have
monetary.
No, I get it. I asked if there was a premium for the MFR.
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
told
There is.
multiple times no.
But it's
The answer
not, but
actually
it's
is
not
yes.
the MFR.
She
It's-
just said
but
it
it's
is,
But it's
Karen.
firefighter and MFR go hand in hand.
Regardless, that is,
But
that-
you keep saying
regardless.
MFR. It's not about the MFR.
Okay, I don't know what I'm talking about with the
Okay.
fire. I'm talking about the credentials that you have in order to
Certification.
take this job.
To be a firefighter, MFR,
To
yes.
become a whatever, whatever.
Yes,
She is saying there is a premium to
There
take this
is.
position.
It's included.
with those, both of those things, all of those things put together.
Right,
Yes,
all
there
of the
is.
things we require.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
so yes.
I don't know what the confusion was then. That was the original question.
I guess how you asked it, that didn't come through.
Because we
think-
I
currently
think-
have
hey.
the position up here for front office assistant. If somebody applied for this job and applied for the fire department, and they had qualifications for the fire department, they still wouldn't get the pay that's down there to work up here.
Well, then I think the
because
title should be
they're not going to the
different
fire
for
department.
your
That's
assistant.
just not how the workforce
Assistant to the
works.
fire chief.
But we want them to make sure they have that training, because he wants that extra person to be able to go out on
All
runs.
I'm saying about is differentiation between the title for his help and the help.
It is, it's
It
right there,
is.
firefighter, MFR.
This is for
That's
down
the
there.
title of the character. I mean,
down
yeah,
there.
well, of the
The
character.
character.
Yeah.
I don't know where that word
It's a
came
graphic
from.
novel.
Because
Kaki,
we
I
already
think-
have the other one.
I think that you're encroaching a little bit on the structure of the fire department by calling it an assistant to the fire chief, because we currently have what we call an assistant chief.
Assistant chief, yes.
And that would be the person that would be tasked with stepping in and making the command level decisions in my absence.
Right.
Would be the assistant chief. That is not at the level of what an assistant to Brenda would be.
Oh, no, an executive assistant is what I'm saying, you know?
No, it's
That's-
still not, it's,
Yeah,
He-
I think
Yeah.
Ray and I are talking about the workforce. I think
Yeah.
you all are talking about Bath Township.
correct.
So I think we're on the same page now.
He-
There is a premium
yes.
for having the more experience for the job.
I knew that. I
And
knew
without going into the office and
I
being
knew that right in
assistant
the
to the
beginning.
regional manager versus assistant regional manager, I think we are now all on the same
Okay.
page.
I'm sorry it was painful to get there. We were trying to answer the questions, I just don't think they were framed, and I think we got there. Thank you.
All right. So you want us to take action to create the position?
Correct.
Because all new positions
All
have
new
to be
positions
created by
have to
the
be
board.
created by this board.
Okay.
What happens to them afterwards is within my purview of filling, hiring, pay, all the things are, I'm just explaining that because there seems to be some confusion sometimes in the public about what this board does and then what I do.
Right.
So here, you are creating the position, and forevermore, I will be able to fill it and manage it,
Forevermore.
forevermore.
So help
Not
God.
me, the superintendent, whoever sits in this seat.
Right.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
What is the motion?
The motion is,
Create the
read that.
position
Yeah.
of administrative assistant firefighter, medical first responder.
Position created.
It's at the top of the
Yeah.
agenda.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. Was that Ray and Jennifer?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. Other discussion?
I would offer to you, if I may, Mr. Supervisor, for position descriptions, if there are minor editorial changes, we make those in-house before we post them. If there was a effort someday to separate these things and make it just an admin position, we would be back to you.
For another position.
I'm saying for the structural change. Like, if we were to say to you, there's so much work and we don't want this person going out on any of these other calls, we would come back and say to you, we just want it to be admin.
Admin,
And you would approve it in its context then, at that point. So that is a major change that my office would not make in administering this position. It will come back to you. But if there's a typo, if there's something that we add a line and it just is something easy that is, software we use or something of that nature, we would make that change.
My suggestion would be to put the certifications under education,
Okay,
because they are educational credentials.
thank you.
But thank you for saying that. I was just actually going to ask if there's dramatic change if you come back to us.
Yes, we would.
All right, we've got a motion, a second. Other questions, thoughts, concerns? Roll call vote?
Ms. Kellerman?
Yes.
Mr. Radke?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Fuensplus?
Yes,
Ms. Butler Challenger, yes. Mr. Rosecrans?
Yes.
that motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't go anywhere, Chief, 'cause we've got
Your job now.
The rest of the meeting's yours.
a couple of grant applications you want to talk about.
Yes?
Answered your question.
As listed under B, the Gary Sinise Foundation grant application. Gary Sinise Foundation, most of you guys know the actor Gary Sinise, very, very positive in the firefighting and first responding world. It's a phenomenal foundation for assisting in those first responders. He has a foundation for grants. Those grants will open up soon. They're up to, and I can't give you a definite number, I can only speak to what experts have told me, anything over $40,000 is not gonna get approved. So I'm assuming it's up to $40,000.
Is that the ceiling then, 40,000?
It's not written anywhere, but nothing over $40,000.
Will you have to put a monetary ask on your
I absolutely
grant
will.
application?
I
Okay.
absolutely will.
You should ask for 50 then.
I will not, because they do not get approved. And the success of the award is far more important than the amount, in my mind.
And they've not done this before, is that what you're saying? This is a new grant?
Gary Sinise
Process?
has given this grant out to
Oh, okay,
foundation,
okay.
across the country for several years.
All right.
I don't know, I can't speak if Bath Township Fire Department has ever applied or been awarded to. I don't know if you need to know,
What is this grant gonna be paid, gonna do for us? Besides this.
the grant that we're gonna write, so you see three grants
Yeah.
that I wrote down. The first one, the Gary Sinise Foundation, we're writing for a gear extractor.
Okay.
Which is, if.
Giant
any of you
washing
guys are
machine.
familiar with, it's very similar to a washing machine. It is a very commercial, designed for firefighting structural gear. I can tell you in the classes that I've been to recently, that is more than just a hot topic that's coming up, is decon with our gear. Our gear is off-gassing for up to 3-4 hours after a call. The trend now is actually not even allowing that gear into the truck after a call, because it's continuing to off-gas, which is just continuing more and more exposures to firefighters. We're already twice as likely to develop cancer than the general public.
More comprehensive safety protocol.
This is a huge safety protocol. This is a good thing as far as firefighter livelihood and long-term longevity, but it's also an added cost for taking care of our gear. We can't just throw it in a general wash machine anymore and expect the results that we really need to be expecting to protect our employees.
And you only need one.
One gear extractor with a drying system will adequately cover the fire department.
For now.
And that 7,000 to 10,000 will cover those things.
I'm not sure what the numbers on the Gary Sinise Foundation, that
Where
we're
did you get
putting in.
7,000 to 10,000?
It's on the second page.
It's on,
Oh, on
Page
the second
42.
remember the second page that I didn't get to on my grant?
Oh,
Okay.
There's
I've been
three
looking for
different, three different, I'll say, levels of gear extractor. I believe the medium one is what I had put on your guys' information, and that would be the 7,000 to 10,000. Mr. Zeeb has done a lot of research on that. We just got a quote back for a very high end, which would normally be the $20,000 to $30,000 range. And the quote came back at 12,000. So my anticipation is that I'm gonna write the grant probably for that high end, now that I have a specific quote to turn in. But it does not change any of the liability to the township or to the board.
So it would be higher than this amount listed here. You're
It,
thinking 12,000 total?
I'm thinking 12,000 would be a really nice upgrade to the medium level that I thought that we would be successful for.
But like, that's the amount that you're gonna ask them for, is
Yes.
12K, okay.
And understand that when I say 12K, it might be $12,182.
Yeah, sure.
It was the number that came back was in the 12,000 range,
And that will cover the drying piece too?
yes.
Great.
May I?
And installation,
Is that a separate machine,
yes.
a dryer?
Karen?
After the plane crash, I know there were a lot of conversations about decontaminating both police and fire gear due to the jet fuel.
Yeah.
Had we had this machine, would that have done it for us?
It would have done a way better job at decontaminating
Okay.
all of our gear, way better than the machine that we have currently.
Okay.
The way that we did it, and we did take some extra precautions, but it was also very timely and also costly, is we pre-soaked every set of our gear. And we had 15 of the Bath Township firefighters that were on that scene. And the gear's in 4 pieces. There's the pants and the coat, which are each 2 pieces. There's the inner moisture barrier and then the outer shell with protective covering. We had to separate all of those. They can't even be washed together. We pre-soaked all of the gear individually in a solution that we had found online that did pretty good with breaking down jet fuel. And then pre-soaked it into another solution of the same stuff before we were ever able to even wash it. That took 3 weeks to get through everybody's gear. Now fortunately, we have backup gear that they could respond in. But if we had a working structure fire at the same time, all of that gear was really out of service.
Yep.
You know, for lack of a better term, it was out of service for that time to get it to a point that we could put it into a machine to even decant. And a gear extractor would be able to do it.
Who runs the gear extractor?
The firefighters, we do.
So they're not responsible for their own gear, are they? But, so somebody that's on call or something,
Yeah, the full-timers could certainly rotate it through, you know, it may be an hour at a time that it goes through the washing machine or through the gear extractor, and then swapped out for the next set. So certainly, if it's during the day, any of the staff that's down there, or any of the full-timers throughout the night. But yeah, our staff can certainly run that.
trying to get my head around it. No hesitation on the grant.
Yeah.
Can I make that motion? You want to do it individually or for all the grants or what?
Why don't we do it individually?
Individually? Okay, I'd like to make the motion to approve the Gary Sinise, grant.
Second.
And you guys
Application?
understand that, you know, no matter how great I am not at writing these grants, there's no guarantee on the award, right?
There's-
So I'm putting in for the grant, we really want this, that by no means that we'll be awarded.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Karen especially knows grants aren't automatic.
And I will plant the seed that if we're not successful, it's still something that I have to look at in the future with my budget.
I just had a meeting with the Community Foundation about their grant process and what we would be eligible for. This could be something that we could put into there too if this one doesn't get funded.
I have several other topics that we can discuss that we can get on that.
Good, good. Spring is the time frame.
Okay.
Yeah. Matching. I didn't see anything on here.
Matching, it said 0.
Okay.
Yeah, the Garrison East does not require any matching funds.
All right, any other questions or concerns?
Did we get a second on my motion?
We did.
Okay.
Like Gail Sweater tonight. All right, we'll do a roll call vote then.
Mr. Kaki?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Funes Bliss?
Yeah,
Ms. Butler Challenger, yes. Mr. Rosecrans?
Yes.
Ms. Kellerman?
Yes.
that motion carries. You want to talk to us about firehouse subs?
Yes, so similar to Garrison East Foundation, Firehouse Subs is a chain restaurant submaker that some of their proceeds, they also give back to the first responder community. And that's where they've made this foundation of the Firehouse Subs, where they also issue grants. Also at a smaller monetary value, but certainly advantageous for us to be able to pursue.
This one we've applied for
We have.
before, right?
Twice.
And did we get those?
No, we didn't.
No.
Okay,
Maybe 3 times a charm.
yeah.
Or 3 times in your house.
This is for, what they call voice amplifiers on our mask. And if at some meeting, or if anytime you guys wanna stop by the fire station, I'll be happy to demonstrate the ability to communicate through our SCBA mask. To me, I was borderline appalled that there's not voice amplifiers on our masks currently.
Already.
Yeah. To be able to use this mic, my only line of communication for firefighters that I have inside a burning building, inside the most immediately dangerous environments that you can think of, is this radio. And without that voice amplifier, you are talking through a glass mask.
Yeah.
And to say that's muffled is an understatement, and the line of communication is severely hampered. And again, this is one of those that, if I'm not successful with a grant, I am absolutely pursuing through other means in my budget, because this is a must-have. The firehouse subs, in doing some of the research on the grants that I can pursue, was one of them that really looked like a good fit to apply for this. It looks like that's kind of in line for what they like to award on those safety things, and that's why we decided to go to the firehouse for the voice amplifiers.
In the past that the fire department has applied for this, did you see what exactly they were applying for that they did not get awarded?
I'm not familiar with what they have applied for.
I just wondered if there was a correlation, you know, because you said, that's what, safety equipment is what this focuses on, so.
Safety equipment in the grant writing world currently seems to be a very,
Hot topic.
it's a priority.
Yeah.
It's a priority.
Do we have those old applications, if we got feedback on that we could use?
I just like to look at
What we applied
correlations,
for,
you know?
correct. Yeah, we could assemble those.
Because that would help.
Yeah. Can I make the motion on this one?
Absolutely.
I'd like to make the motion to give permission, I guess, to Chief to go for the Firehouse Subs Foundation grant for voice amplifiers.
Second?
Okay, can I make a friendly amendment? Is Ben gonna help you on the grant writing?
He's absolutely helping me on
I'm
the
gonna
grant.
add those in
Oh,
with
I
the
thought it was in
motions.
there. Must've been, yeah, it says grant writing, Ben
says-
Zeben.
But
That's
you
right.
said, chief, I wanted to make sure both of them were in there.
Oh, I see.
Really,
what
we're
you're saying.
authorizing the township staff to do it.
I just said that who is asking for the grant.
Yeah, I think
approval.
that should be
Township
the,
staff?
yeah,
Okay,
whomever needs to be plugged in.
Yeah,
okay,
Yeah, and
thank you.
obviously, you know, Ben's instrumental in writing these up, but that doesn't mean I'm not gonna lean on the office staff to help me out too.
Okay, thank you.
Taylor's good at that.
It's good to know.
Okay.
Did we get a second on that?
Sherry, I think.
Cheryl did.
Sherry or Al?
I heard Cheryl.
Okay.
You're closer.
Yep.
Okay.
Sorry, Al.
All right, any other discussion?
I second on that one.
You gotta hurry.
All right, hearing none, we'll take another roll call vote.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Funes-Bliss?
Yes.
Ms. Butler Challenger, yes. Mr. Rosecrans?
Yes.
Ms. Kellerman?
Yes.
Mr. Catke?
Yes.
Thank you.
That motion passes. Can you tell us about the last one?
I can. The FEMA Assistance to Firefighters Grant is federally funded grant money. This is millions of dollars, but there are also millions of applicants. My original, I guess, dream would have been to write a FEMA grant for a new engine. I'm finding that will be a very, very competitive grant, and the likelihood of award would be very slim. Instead, I've chose to go after the diesel mitigation system, the exhaust mitigation system. Again, it leans back on the firefighter health and safety aspect, which is a extreme priority for FEMA and the Assistance Firefighter Grant Writing Team. Our station doesn't have that. It's probably the only station that I've been in that does not have one. I did relay those concerns early in my hiring process with Ms. Hildebrandt. She also agreed, brought those concerns to you. I understand budgetary constraints, but this is more than just needed. This would be getting on the verge of neglect to not continue to pursue some kind of exhaust mitigation for that station.
You just crack the overheads right now, or what?
Sure can.
I mean, I used to run a diesel truck garage, and we had 39 rigs, and we had, the system that came down and sucked it out. And
And how long ago was that?
1844.
1978 to 1984,
So we're looking at probably 40 to 50 years ago,
and I had that
we were
system.
using that technology. And we're not.
We didn't have the nice magnetic hookups, but I understand that's what you're gonna go for.
There's several different systems.
I don't know why, I thought I heard us talking about that magnetic hookup.
There might be some confusion because the company that we had dealt with is called Magnet Grip. And that is one of the systems that they provide.
Yeah.
Is the magnetic hookup. One of the other, they also offer just an air hose suction that grabs on to the exhaust itself. They offer an air hawk system, which is a whole station ventilation type system also. It appears like the whole bay system might be a little bit cheaper. I just have to get the salesman in here to convince me what's worth, where we're at for cost versus benefit.
Dog and pony.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm not gonna pretend to know everything about these systems and which one's gonna be best. I do know that I have used what they call a primal vent in the past, which is just direct hookup right to your exhaust system. And one of the negatives that I saw with that is as the truck pulls out, that hose that hangs all the way, down at 2 foot off the ground, comes swinging back into the bay. And I don't really like that hazard if we can avoid it.
Yeah. Bungee cord
To what?
to hold it so it doesn't swing.
It has to swing back into place
I
to
see.
hook
Okay.
up to the truck when it comes back in.
Yeah.
So
So-
part of the reason we didn't put this in the budget was that we wanted to wait. So has your thinking changed on that?
Part of the reason that it wasn't in the budget, if I can jump in, was because we couldn't afford it. We had inflated the fire department's budget. We had a lot of needs down there.
I'm gonna push back on that, because the three of us in the finance committee were ready to fund it. But we didn't do that because we thought we needed to do this assessment
There was
first.
talk of the assessment, and
Oh, I
that, and
remember.
it was critical. We also talked because Chief had a different way of, at the system we were looking at the time, there were other options, and I think he wanted to explore options.
Yeah, I
So-
definitely wanna look at the whole bay. I'll call it, the easiest way to call it is the Air Hawk system. That's just the trade name of it, or the actual company that sells that kind. There's probably more than just Air Hawk, but instead of saying the whole bay air handling system, I'll just call it the Air Hawk if that's all right. And that was a little more appealing in my mind to see what the benefits to that were over the swinging hoses.
I do think as well, these two processes can move concurrently. We're not jumping the gun on this, and that process can still take place. And if a finding comes back, certainly we can be proactive and move with whatever that finding is. So I think these two are moving concurrently. I think we weren't at the point, while it is critical, and our consultants told us it was critical, I think that we're moving within a process by applying for a grant, seeking out these funds, still keeping in mind that it's critical for the health and safety of our people. I think we're accomplishing all things in a better way.
When do we find out about this then?
The AFG grant opens at an undetermined time, and I'm expecting it to open any minute. It could be next week.
An undetermined time, that's crazy.
It is absolutely undetermined. There is no, it opens on this date.
that when they go
When I-
back and count the money, or what?
I'm not sure how they work, but
Never heard that.
the awards usually come out in the fall. It'd be, maybe the end of August, probably September, October.
So we'd want to have our process done
Correct.
before then.
So, yeah, so I think, in this situation, all things are moving at a real pace together. That is not to say that this board didn't recognize that need and wouldn't have made the necessary adjustments to make this happen. I don't want the board to feel that way. I think we're accomplishing it in a very good way that's good for both the township and the fire department.
That sounds like
So
a grant.
please don't take it as what you were trying to do. It was critical. It still is. You see before you, a chief that is worried about the health and safety of his people, clearly from the asks that he has tonight. And we acknowledge that the board as well, during that process with our consultants, also recognize the health and safety as a top priority for the township as well. So, I don't think this takes anything away from what we're trying to do. It accomplishes it, and I think in a better, more well-organized, planned way. So,
I think this segues well into the funding strategies. Anytime, you can get a grant, that's a kind of a grant that if you don't know when you write the grant and have it sitting on your desk.
I think you see before you a chief that wants to be prepared.
Yeah, exactly, proactive.
Have you confirmed that there is money in the federal budget for these?
I know that they have offered the FEMA AFG grant. I know that I'm getting emails daily from grant writers who are trying to solicit my business. All indications that I see is there will once again be FEMA money available.
Just remember, Doge gutted a bunch of these things. So the money may not exist anymore.
It may not.
So I would confirm that before you put a lot of time into this.
I do not have the mental capacity to be able to put this together after they post the opening for the grants.
No, you will know now. We know what Doge cut. They cut billions of dollars in grant funding. So I would say don't build the grant and then find out Doge cut them.
Even though FEMA website is indicating that it is opening up very soon.
Oh, okay, well,
I'm pretty confident that there is some. Will there be as much as in the past? Probably not. Will there be anything for us? I don't know. But the amount of time that it takes to put these narratives together for our needs, I don't have the ability to wait until they open the process for me to try to put the grant together.
It says 2 weeks it closes.
For the AFG grant, they're usually open for 2 week period. They open it up, it's open for 2 weeks, and it's closed. And they have more applicants, more asks for money, way more than what the awards that they hand out.
so get that.
Any of the experts, I explained to you in my hiring process, that I'm not the most adept on writing of the grants. This is not my specialty. I don't have a lot of history with that. So I wanna put as much as I can into the research and knowing what I'm doing before I get into it. I do know that if I wait and then come to you later and ask for permission to write this grant, the process is already closed.
Yeah, I
It
want
doesn't
to be
make me
clear. I'm
aware.
not saying you should wait. I'm saying you should look at what Doge cut out of FEMA before you write a grant that may not exist anymore.
The AFG grant still exists.
Okay. I'm just telling you, I work with the federal government every single day, and sometimes the grants exist and OMB won't release the funds. It's excuse my language, but a shit show at the federal level right now, that they're all fighting each other. So a lot of the stuff that existed, a lot of the stuff, I'm supposed to have a grant that opened back in December, still hasn't opened. The money is there. It's on the website, still hasn't opened. So I just don't want you to get caught in that, because it's a great use of your time.
It is, but the use of my time, if it does open up, especially short term, because this historically opens towards the end of January. And the use of my time, in my opinion, would be advantageous to put the time into these grants
Yeah.
and get this for our station.
Without question.
I'm just saying, make a phone call to FEMA and ask them if Doge cut the grants.
I have
I'm
been-
not saying like wait weeks, I'm saying like 10 minutes on the phone. I guarantee it'll pay off, because if the answer's no, you can shift where you're applying to.
I will give them a call this week and ask to see if there's any chance that they're gonna open up the AFG grant.
No, I think you should say, does it exist? Like, that is the question, because some of these
I will
things
ask
just
them if it
don't
exists.
exist anymore. It's nuts. I know for 8,000 years it's been different. This year at the federal government, it's just all crazy. It's nutso.
I will ask them if it exists.
Can I make a motion?
Yeah,
There's some side notes. This one does have,
A match.
matching.
yeah.
A matching
5%.
piece to this.
Yep.
I believe with populations under $20,000, or under 20,000 residents, I believe that matching is only 5%.
That's great.
I think it caps, no matter what the population, it caps off at 10%. So if for some reason I am mistaken, the most that you're gonna cost match would be 10%. But everything that I've read is with populations under 20,000 people, we're looking at a 5% matching funds.
And what is the dollar amount you're gonna ask for?
That is gonna be
126,000.
very specific to the system that we write to put in.
Okay.
And I believe the last bid, that I had in an email, the last bid for the Magna Grip specifically, which is historically the more expensive, was $126,000.
And you're
Yeah.
going, you said you were going for the middle one? Is that what you said?
I'm gonna look at a couple of the different systems. I believe that the Air Hawk system, the whole bay, air handler, I believe that that's a cheaper option. In speaking with, DeWitt Township's chief, his recollection, was they had somewhere between $60,000 and $70,000 into their new station to install an Air Hawk type system. So that's significantly cheaper.
Yeah. And that's the brand name they went with?
That's what they went with, yes.
So the max is 126,000, max match could be up to 10%.
It could be up to 10%, Ryan, and I'm pretty confident in my research that our match will be 5.
Right, we're giving you approval of this, so I wanna make sure that if it comes out to 10, you didn't have approval on that, but if it does, you do have approval.
Yeah.
126 up to 10,
Up to
Okay.
10%, thank you.
126 up to 10.
yeah. And I think we should go for the gold standard.
Oh, very much so. Yeah.
Whatever's the best.
Now, can I make a motion?
Yeah.
I love doing this. She'll tell me how to verbalize it. I would like to make the motion for, can I say chief and Mr. Zeeb?
Township staff.
Township of
staff.
Bath, okay, so
Township
this one's
staff.
different. To go for this grant up to 126,000 with up to a 10% match.
Second.
Did I do
Thank
that
you.
right?
You did great, right?
Okay. I need her approval.
Oh, I'm
Don't
sorry.
look at me. Say your word.
All right, we've got a
My mom
motion
used
and
to
a
say
second. Is there other discussion?
There sure is. I have to tell you that there are several moving parts to the AFG grant. One is we need a unique entity identifying number, okay? And we are working on that.
Oh, you haven't gotten that yet?
No, I think
We have it,
We have
yeah.
had that in the
Yeah, I was gonna say, I
past.
thought-
It just need to be renewed, but that doesn't mean that it gets back to us in time.
Wait, I'm sorry, I just need to clarify that. Do we have it renewed or not?
Yes, it's renewed.
Okay.
Okay.
Is it yearly?
The renewal.
The
process
sam.gov is, yeah.
Yes.
Ah,
it's
okay.
I'm clarifying because I'm about to submit a grant on our behalf in 48 hours, and it has to have that number. Great.
She's got it.
All indications from sam.gov are that it has been
Great.
approved.
Because that's also a mess.
There are other limiting factors, obviously, with me writing that grant. That's one of them. If we didn't get that number in time, or if they post it, it's a shorter period, there's a chance that I can't get this submitted.
miss it.
And I don't wanna, I don't wanna come to you with my hat in my hand saying, can you let me write this grant? And then I don't look very good when it doesn't get submitted.
No,
there's
I
factors
think
out
you
of our
should think
control.
of this as permission to write it. And if you feel like for whatever reason it doesn't make sense, it's not a good use of your time, you can't pull it off, it's still in your hands to manage your time. But now you have the board's permission to move
That's what I'm
forward.
looking for.
One of the items, the chief is very aware of some items that happened in the past, including asking for permission to apply for a truck grant and then not submitting it. He is trying not to make the same mistakes of the past, which I very much appreciate. And I told him that any conversation after that would be updated with the board. There would be a conversation between him and I. There would be some informing of this body of the result of your action that you've taken here. So we're making every intention of changing the ways of the past and making sure that we're accountable for the things that we're given permission to do. So that's part of the concern and part of what I have assured him, and what you just said here should also reaffirm to him that he's moving in the right direction. So thank you for that.
I get the impression that you're a results-oriented individual, so I don't have any hesitation.
All right, we've got a motion and a second. Any other conversation? Hearing none, we'll take a roll call vote.
Mr. Fuse Bliss?
Yes.
Ms. Butler Challenger, yes. Mr. Rosecrans?
Yes,
Ms. Kellerman?
Yes.
Mr. Cocky?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
All right, that motion carries.
Any other questions for me?
What are you doing here? Go right. You've got 3 grants to do.
We have our work cut out for us, but thank you.
Thank you for being proactive on this, Chief.
Thank you.
Well, that brings us to item 15, which is the superintendent's report.
So, one of the items that was requested, I believe, by trustee Rose Krantz, which I very much appreciate, was some updates on the data, number of calls both in the police and fire departments, and I have that data here. What I am also working with them is having meetings where they come and quarterly give an update to this board on the functions of their department. So please know that that is still in the making. It is just not one of those things that has occurred yet. So that is something that can occur hopefully on a quarterly basis, that they can both give you data. But I am prepared to give you totals for 2025 tonight. So the police department being up first.
I have my microphone off, I apologize. In 2024, the police department went on 16,109 calls. In 2025, they went on 17,458. I did the math for you. That's a difference of 1,349 calls that we were up over 2025 over 2024. I have a breakdown that can be shared with you if you are interested in that. I could send that out to all of you via email. It breaks it down by property calls, domestic call. There's about 25 different listings, and it gives the number of calls for each one of those categories. So,
Up about 10%.
yeah, so.
And do you have a general sense of like what's moving it up?
The highest categories
Chandler Road.
were business contact checks. So when they will go in, make contact with the business owner, they may buy a Pappas bags, but they're making contact with businesses during their time on patrol. Another one is community policing, so that's school and community events.
So this isn't like people are calling to get the police dispatched.
Some of it is and some of it's not. The highest categories, and these are categories that are above 1,000 calls, are the ones that I just mentioned, the business contact checks. You have assisting other agencies, which is at like 309, and you have to compare those year over year, so it's not an easy thing to do. It's not in a format where you're able to compare easily.
You don't have a program to keep track of all that?
They do, it spits out a report, but it doesn't give you a year over year. So that's why I'm saying the data is probably helpful in another format, but what I have here is not digestible in a property checks composed of over 5,000 calls for service. So we can give you, we can put it in a comparison form if that's helpful for you, or give you the 2 separate reports, one for 2024 and one for 2025.
I think what people are interested in is like emergency calls,
Yeah.
not
So,
the others. Not that
they-
that's not important.
They
but I think-
also completed their 2024, Christy Colby, the lead person over there, and the office manager put together the 2024 annual report. We'll also be putting together the 2025 annual report, which will highlight some of those areas where they spent a majority of their time. So I think there's another way to present that to you as well. That is not just in the raw numbers that you have here before me, so.
Yeah, I think it would be helpful for the board and certainly the public,
Mm-hmm.
you know, to understand, is crime up in Bath Township? Is violent crime? I mean, we
Yeah.
know that there's some
So some of
emergencies
those
that we haven't
areas
experienced before are happening.
Are those that we report, both to the state and the feds, which are the violent crimes, which are usually the ones that people are most interested in. So that'll come as part of their annual report, and I'll, let them know that we'll be proceeding with that, and they can come and provide that to you as one of their quarterly, updates to you as the board.
And we do report that to the FBI?
That is correct. That is mandatory reporting that happens, each year, that they're responsible for.
That is a random question on that grant application I have to fill out.
Well, the answer is yes.
At least I find it random.
Yes.
It's a nice application.
From Chief Kunter, and I cannot speak for his, I don't know that I told him I wanted his 2024 data, but he did provide that they ended 2025 with 1,453 calls. 1,094 of those were medical first responder calls, and 359 were fire-related. Since September, this is a number I'm very proud of. Chief Kunter, Benzib, and the staff down there have added 6 paid-on-call members. So that roster of 25 to 30 individuals that you normally hear about, they've added 6 more people to that and bringing their roster to, do you know the numbers?
We are at 25, if we don't count the full-time.
The full-times? Okay.
We're up to 25.
Okay. They have one more full-timer to add, one obviously as a result of this evening, the administrative assistant, and 2 to 3 paid-on-call members adding in the near future. So they are continuously working on their staffing for our community. I think that's very important for our community to know. And we'll try to get this information out to them as well, in other formats, because we have newsletters and different posts that we make. And they currently have 4 members that are attending the Clinton County Fire Academy that are graduating in June.
Great.
So,
Good news.
I think
Very
the
good news.
social media stuff that I assume Taylor has been doing when we get new folks is really good.
Yeah.
Seems to give a lot of likes and feedback and.
I would agree with you.
I'm actually not doing that, those are the firefighters.
Oh.
But I
It's on their
appreciate
firefighter
the,
Yeah, the accolades, huh?
Well, nice job to them.
The other items, we've talked at length about the police department road patrol and the supervisory contracts that are up. Those agreements, Lizzie and I are still working on those with the unions. Police Chief Matt Mardigan's employment agreement will be up in April, so we will begin probably working on that so that we can bring that to you for review and approval as well. Good news, I think the Eaton Area Ambulance contract has come from U of M. It is time for us to work with our legal team to make sure it has everything in it that we need it to have in it now that it is done and through U of M Legal. And that is something that we will embark on probably with me and Mr. Patterson, Mr. Chris Patterson that we work with, did the initial review, but now we'll be able to conduct his final review hopefully and bring that to you as well. As I indicated in a superintendent report to you, Samantha Evans, who serves in my department as an assistant to both Taylor and I, has taken a position with DeWitt Charter Township as their deputy clerk. We're very excited for her, but it's very sad to lose her. She'll be leaving us at the end of this month. She'll come back from a vacation and complete a couple of days with us doing payroll and having a going away party, which you've all been invited to. And then she'll be on to her new position. So we, in the last week, posted that just to see who might be out there and interested in the position. We have received quite an overwhelming response, 25 applicants, front office assistant. 25 applicants, some are very well qualified. We're still trying to make a determination as to what will happen as a result of that vacancy. Samantha has been very involved in elections, which will be a big topic during midterms this year, and several other things, but we did not know whether we were ready to fill that at this time or if we wanted to take some time and do some reorganization. So we will continue to look at that, to look at the candidates that are coming in. But we are not for sure if we will proceed with filling that at this time or if we will wait for that. So stay tuned, please. MERS is going to be taking a next step in implementation. I know you all did a lot of hard work last year on helping us change MERS and bring it into this century. The next step of that process will be to educate our employees on if they have money in the defined benefit, if they want to transfer that money into their defined contribution, and what that will consist of. And that actually helps to decrease the township's liability in that defined benefit plan, both in the union and the non-union plans, because the union members will have that opportunity as well. So anybody that decides to take that money into their new plan lowers our liability, that $244,000 that we'll be paying this year as a result of the liability of that plan. So that is the next step. We will begin educating our people. That will come to this board for your review and approval of that process. It has to be done with your permission. So that is something that you will be educated on and asked to make a decision on as well. But that will come later in the spring. So that's something that will be up for all of you.
Do you know how much is sitting in that bucket?
I don't. The fact that we have two plans now makes it a little complicated to track, whereas we had one plan before. It was kind of everything. It's, now we have two.
But the other plan was frozen.
Correct. I don't know. We will have because we separated the police and the union and the non-union people, they would do that work, and we'll have that work this June. Most likely we'll have how much that is funded for both of those plans. So it's not data that was readily available. I mean, there's numbers, but there wasn't an accounting of that and how much it was funded.
I mean, is it millions? Is it hundreds of thousands?
I can't answer that. I would have to get a report. I'm sorry that I can't answer for you right now.
That's okay.
Okay. And then the new personnel policy obviously took place, went into effect on January 1st. Signed acknowledgements of that document were due to our office, my office, by January 16th. At this time, I think we have less than half back from individuals. We process W-2s, and that's for anybody that receives a check from the township. So board members, all employees, committee members, election members, paid on call, firefighters. So if you have a problem with your W-2, please let us know. That's the responsibility of my office.
Can you go back a second?
Yes.
Do you think the folks who have not signed have some sort of issue, or do you think it's just they haven't done what you asked them to do?
The time frame that they had to do it overlapped with the holidays, so I think a lot of people forgot, and I haven't gotten around to sending the reminder emails.
You're not getting a sense that people are like,
No.
No,
okay, that's good.
no. I think it's sometimes tasks that
Yeah.
aren't monitored closely just fall by the wayside. The last item that I have is I did sign up for the MTA Capital Conference as well as the annual conference that MTA is holding in April. I have offered to all of you through communication via email that we can help you sign up as well. A couple of you are already signed up. If any of you would like to sign up for those, please email my office or Taylor. We can make those arrangements for you. And I look forward to learning with you all as we go to April conference at MTA. I think it'll be a very valuable experience for all of us, those that can attend. And I know that the supervisor and I need to discuss moving meeting times around or creating a special meeting, not to mention right after the April meeting that is affected by all of us going to conference, there is an election, so that usually impacts our board schedule as well. So I think we need to do some visiting with the calendar and bring some alternate dates back to you so that we can all come together and take care of our business. So, any questions for me?
Great report.
Thank you. There's a lot going on, and as much as we tackled last year, there is as much, if not more, to continue to tackle. We continue to try to move the township forward and modernize its business for its employees and for its residents, and there's a lot of work yet to be done. I'm very proud of the work that we've been doing, and I have a great team. I am going to shed the spotlight on the gentleman that's sitting next to me, only because he had a wonderful, happy addition to his family over the holidays, and if he would like to, I would like him to share that with you.
David, you're on the spot.
Yeah, my daughter, Kennedy Claire, was born on Christmas Eve day.
Oh, my goodness.
And we made it home on Christmas Day. And it's been awesome. Today is my first day back to work.
Is that your first? Is that your first?
Yes, yeah.
Wow, congrats.
Congratulations.
His wife is also a practicing attorney at the same firm.
Yes.
Not to share too much about them, but they live the life of a two-attorney household and have now this beautiful addition, so I'm excited for them.
Yeah, thank you.
That's gonna be a chore.
Oh,
Both of
yeah.
you working professionals.
Yes, yep, we're figuring it out as we go. She's still got she's taking more time than I did, so.
Do you have like lawyerly arguments, like, it's your turn to do the diapers,
Overruled.
exhibit A to prove that?
Yeah, our arguments definitely, like, we make sure that we each get time to speak, right? Or, you know, and then, I don't know if we get to resolutions, but no, we went to law school together, so we met during a group project, so.
Oh.
We've kind of always worked together, but we don't practice the same type of law.
Still on that group project.
Yeah, exactly.
Lifelong group project.
Yeah, she was at the firm before I was, so I always say that she got me my job, so.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you, thanks.
We'll want baby pictures at some point.
Yeah.
On the big screen.
Yes.
Kennedy up on the big screen.
Of course.
I love that.
Anything else from you, Karen?
No, thank you. I've spoken enough this evening.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
that
you.
brings us to item 16, which is public statement 2. This is an opportunity for folks to have up to 3 minutes to talk about any township topic you'd like to talk about. Just step up to the lectern, introduce yourself, and your 3 minutes will start. Is there anybody who'd like to do public statement at this time?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Kim Fouts on Park Road. I appreciate that you're trying to reorganize the committees. I'm disappointed in hearing that the citizen group meetings won't be on videotape, as I enjoy watching the current meetings and am not always able to attend the meetings. It helps me to feel connected as a resident here of Bath Township to know what's being talked about. And one of the things that you mentioned was there isn't going to be any minutes. Well, the reason why I'm here tonight is because it was in the minutes that you were going to be discussing the transition of the committees, and if there isn't any minutes and you can't see a video of the meetings, how do you know if you want to attend the next meeting? Or if you do miss a couple meetings and want to show up, you're showing up cold without understanding what's been discussed the month before or whatever. It just seems like it makes it difficult to participate unless you're there every meeting if there isn't a video or minutes. Or anyone to call and say, hey, what's been going on lately? You know, such as maybe call any of the members of the previous Senior Service Advisory Board. But thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Anybody else like to make a statement?
Hi, Nancy Hoyland, Webster Road. And I too have questions about the advisory committee transition. While I think it's a good idea in a lot of respects, there's been many times, and one reason I like it is because there'll be a person from the office, basically, one of
Staff.
Yeah, staff person, thank you. And many times, we had tried in the, senior advisory committee to have a staff person in our meetings. We requested that time and again, asked and invited, and it wasn't happening. So this will be a good change, but I too am concerned about minutes and
Video.
video. I would like to see that happen. For one, we have this meeting and it falls where? What happens once we do this? It falls on deaf ears? Is anything gonna happen once we let you know what our thoughts are? I mean, we're not trying to take over. We just want to be able to help grow this community and just offer our suggestions. Nothing more. And I still, that's what I'd like to see. I like the idea of having someone in our meetings that will perhaps take this further. Many times we had tried to get nothing more than name tags for our new people that come to the senior center. And it was requested and requested, and granted, that was a request, and maybe we had no right in requesting that. But it was something we thought would be good for our people there. And everything we would do just fell on deaf ears. So anyway, hopefully this will be a good change. I'm looking forward to change. So, thank you.
Thanks, Nancy.
Thank you.
Any other?
Oh, I'll stand up and say Happy New Year. And thank you to all of you individuals who have to put in this time. It's pretty critical work, and it's very much underappreciated. So, Happy New Year and thank you. I'm Tim Volosik, I'm on Upton Road. That was an important thing I wanted to say. There was a couple other little things. Yeah, this MTE thing. MTA, sorry. This is good. Everybody should be trained in this, and that should be a requirement for all new board members for sure, or maybe committee chairs even, that they need to understand the rules, Robert's rules, and how things actually work. I think that's really, really critical. Yeah, there seems to be some issues of public kibitzing between groups, is just the way I can only perceive it. So getting some training will help you understand how the committees, subcommittees, quorums, all of those things are very, very important, and how we can communicate. And then it's the responsibility, I believe, of the committees and subcommittees to take the minutes and videotape and bring them back. And I think the board or the powers that be who run the office, superintendent's office, to then put it on the website or somehow display it or provide it publicly. It's a good idea. It is nice. We're 21st century stuff here. You know, I think we can do this. So a little update on the website would be helpful, including like the calendar. Just putting a little calendar instead of having to dig through the minutes and agendas, pages, and finding things that, you know, boy, it should be nice to have that calendar just like.
There is one.
There's one?
There is a homepage.
All right, I just couldn't see it on my phone, sorry. All right, that's an easy one.
Yeah.
Board approval for grants. Thanks, Chief, for doing all of that work, and man, if that guy wants to do his research and learn about what he's supposed to be doing for his department, more power to him. I think the only thing that should be approved to here is a grant maybe over $100,000 for a new truck or something, but all these little things, let them go to work, man, and then it won't impact financial committees' decisions on where they're putting some funding. Like you said it earlier, you know, and there's communications going on, which is great. We paused it, that's fine, but let him scrape up as much money as he can without us getting in the way and delaying all of that stuff. Because it's gonna be really, really hard. And Ryan talked about it before, about check to see if there's even any money there, because nothing's safe anymore, it seems like. And I think the last thing was, you finished the 21 to 26 comprehensive plan. Good job. So now what? You guys are making a new one, I get that. So just a quick overview. 8 goals, 15 objectives, 48 action steps. 0 outcomes were defined though, on what it is we wanted to accomplish. And I didn't see any ways to measure any of this stuff or have a timetable on it, which kind of prioritizes what some of our action steps might be. So that might be some things to think about with the new plan as it starts to develop. And I'm sure it's coming soon. Because this also kind of relates, I was here a year ago, a couple years ago maybe, and I talked about connection with the school and how the school's really the heart of the community. And so anything that we talk about here, I think needs to include them, even though they are a separate entity, I get that.
Tim, you've hit your 3 minutes.
Did I?
You did.
My bad. Okay.
And I'm only stopping you to be consistent with folks that come up and yell at us. Everybody gets the same 3 minutes. If you have other thoughts, though, I appreciate what you're saying. Send us an email.
Sounds good. Hey, thank you very much. I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thanks for being here.
Come more often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are working hard.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, look at it.
Thank you. Anybody else for public statement? Hearing none, we will move to board comments. Al, you get the unusual opportunity to go first.
Yahoo! Did the county ever get back with us on when we were gonna have a road committee meeting?
So, I met with the county on our projects. They made some recommendations, which I have brought back with me. We were waiting for this process to take place so that we would have a road committee. And it may be that I meet with the previous road committee kind of informally to talk about what those projects were. But I think we can still keep moving forward with the budget we have for this year. We had a very productive conversation with Doug and with Jake Perkins and then Tim Swain. A large part of our discussion was taken up by dirt roads and the condition of those dirt roads. And this time of year, of course, it's a big topic because they're all washboarded and potholed. And as you know, the conditions aren't great for grading them right now because you can make them more dangerous, which I think a lot of members of our public.
You can't get into them.
They're frozen and you can't get into them, or they're too wet and you create kind of that quicksand element. So right now, we're just working through communicating that with our residents about the conditions needing to be right. I saw a Facebook post last night that I appreciated, kind of talking about the conditions of the roads. But I think that we have a couple of good projects we could work on this year with the Clinton County Road Commission. Not as much as that we have in normal years, but we did reduce the amount of money to about $300,000, and with the cost share. I think that we can be effective in chip sealing, or not chip sealing, one major asphalt program, and then a couple of dirt road maintenance projects. So I think this year might be a smaller year, but we did talk about, the treasurer attended the meeting with me, of millages. And they've got some great data they can share with us when we're ready to have that conversation about revenue. If a millage is something that we discuss and pursue, we would be one of, I think they said 6 in the Clinton County that have millages already. They think it's a great program and they see more getting done, and they can help us project what that number might be as we go through the future and want to look at what should we be dedicating to those roads. They can share with us what it would take to maintain what we currently have. And then they can put costs together for us about what it would take to improve, not just maintain, but improve our roads, to give us some estimates on what the expenditures might be in the future.
Yeah, what did they say about Angle Road, the culvert?
That it's not immediate, but that we need to plan for it in the next 3 to 5 years.
3 to 5 years?
Yeah,
They've got a plan for all the culverts, right?
they do. They do.
With a,
Yeah,
they've
but
got
this
a
is the big
big,
one. This is a $260,000 culvert.
yeah, but they've identified each one in the county and what condition they're in.
They're also, I saw today in an email that the state's revenue, and I know you didn't ask this question, but the state's revenue projections are declining. I know there's not enough money, which is always the problem, right? But they're hoping to see how the new road funding hits in this county as well. So I think there's that one kind of unknown factor of what will that revenue look like and how will we benefit from that money? So I think that's another element as we go through these revenue discussions that will be critical from the road commission, the Clinton County Road Commission, as to what we're gonna see as a result of that money as well.
I think we have to start articulating to them that that money needs to flow along with the population.
That's certainly a conversation we can have with them. I don't know how it currently is the formula.
No, I'm saying the county.
I'm saying the same thing. I'm saying I don't know how what the formula is currently. I don't know if it's miles of roads, I don't know if it's population, I don't know what the formula is. So I'd have to look into what is the current formula and then how could it be, with our feedback, could it be modified to population?
Yeah, I just don't want all this money to come in from this tax revenue and it get used in the northern part of the county and us in DeWitt never get anything from it. Because that's what it feels like, it happens all the time. But we have more taxpayers down here in this southern tier.
Yeah.
So it's just fair that the benefit, not that they don't deserve anything up there, but we don't deserve the shaft like we've been getting.
I think that's fair. So I'll inquire into the current structure and how we might set up a meeting to have that conversation with them.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. And thank you, trustee. I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you. And I'd like to thank the police and fire for all they do. We don't recognize them enough. They risk their lives every day for us. Thank you.
Thanks, Al. Brenda?
I attended the MTA Winter Institute last week for a couple days. It was very informative. They have it every year in January. I'd highly suggest you guys attend. They were recording it, so you might be able to go to MTA and you might be able to view it, so. It was
good.
very good.
Where was it?
Frankenmuth.
Oh, that's
So
right.
it wasn't
Or-
that far
yes.
away.
I usually just drive there when they have them at Frankenmuth.
Yeah.
Anything else? I wanted to share, if you had not seen, our county clerk and register of deeds is announcing a retirement mid her term. And so there is a committee of judges that have been put on the sort of decision-making body on how and when to choose the next county clerk and register of deeds, but that will be an available position for appointment middle of the term for Clinton County residents. So if there's Bath Township folks that have the talents or the interest to do that, I think they should follow that conversation.
I saw that invitation, I'll call it, from the county. And the way I read it is that the public will actually be able to listen to the interviews of each candidate.
Yeah.
I thought that was really strange and time consuming, but I guess that's how it should be done. Huh?
Yeah, it's because it's Open Meetings Act.
Yeah.
But that's a, position that has a lot of authority and we interface with regularly with, mostly our folks here, but, would be great to have local folks represented up there.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up.
That's it, thanks.
I attended last week an MMTA training in Lansing. Just like Brenda, you learn all sorts of topics. I just want to stress going to trainings and learning capable opportunities, conferences really need to happen with this board when new members come on. Because I have learned so much in the last, 2 years since I've been here, almost 3.
But do you retain it?
Yes.
That's what's important.
Do you retain stuff?
Sometimes.
Well, there you go, Ray.
Just
Water mostly.
Anything else, John?
No, that's it.
Right.
Just one thing came to my mind is the strategic plan. We spent so much time and money on that, and there is a timetable kind of in there of objectives, and
Yeah,
I'd like to see it on the agenda every time we have a meeting.
I agree.
That's it.
Okay.
And thank you for our hardworking fire chief. That's a lot of paperwork you're gonna have to get into.
Thank you for your information. That was great. It's been all along since you first interviewed with us, and your experience is really welcomed here. And I'm glad I made it to the meeting.
Yeah, we're glad
Mostly.
you're here too, Jerry.
Mostly here.
My God, be careful going home.
Yeah.
Be careful walking.
Yeah.
Last thing you'd wanna do is fall
Oh,
or,
I know, I haven't left the house but twice in a month.
If you fall, just don't do it on township property, please.
No, I will do it. It doesn't matter, so I can sue you.
No, no.
Can't do that, you're employed here.
All right. Thanks all. That brings us to adjournment. Someone want to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Adjourn.
We have a motion and
Oh,
He made the motion.
I'll second it.
we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.